And maybe the most impressive part is that you're now dropping Jorge Polanco, who at times has been the best hitter on the team this year, into the 7th spot, and then finishing up with some combination of Canzone, Raleigh, Cole Young, etc. And if Robles does come back and you can get him into the spot where he's been and starts hitting leadoff again, well, now you're dropping JP into the 8 or 9 spot, and you're talking about a lineup that just keeps turning over and just doesn't give the opposing pitching staff any breaks. So am I excited today? Yeah, how could you not be? How could you not be? I mean, this is what you do. This is why you hold something back. I like it. I like that the team did what they were supposed to do here at the deadline. And I like that they are still within striking distance. It'd be nice if they started playing a little better. They're not playing their best baseball. Kind of waiting for some of this to kick in. And by the way, sometimes that happens. Sometimes it doesn't go right away the way you want it to. But they're in a playoff spot and they're right there. I'll tell you, like this is the type of thing that can, not will, can spark a team and get them to finally go on the kind of run that we've talked about. Got to get the pitching. Brian Wu struggled a little bit again last night. We'll talk through that. You got to get the pitching. You need this rotation because that's what this whole thing is built on. And that's what they're betting on, that the pitching is going to come back and be the pitching it's supposed to be. You have to bet on that because that's what the team was built on. That is the foundation. But they've now gone out there and done all of the tinkering around it that you would want them to do offensively. They added the cabinetry in Geno Suarez. They added the nice, the nice granite countertops in Josh Naylor. And I think that you need one more. I would go out and I would be looking hard today for that leverage arm. Hard for that leverage arm in the bullpen. Lyle, you got to be happy today.
It's a fun morning. What do you want me to say?
I want you to say you're awake and you're ready to go.
This is sick. Yeah, I mean, this shows that they're all in. They said publicly this week that they were all in, and this move backs that up. I think that was a lot of what you were talking about at the start of this segment, where you saw people getting worried. I think part of that might have had to do with some of the messaging that was out publicly, and people are saying to themselves, all right, well, you say you're all in, and so far it doesn't really feel like an all-in deadline. This now feels like an all-in deadline.
It is amazing to me how often people want to judge baseball before it's time to judge. And I know it's instant reaction world. I get it. And it's no different from judging a 2-game sample size and saying it's indicative of the whole year. But, I see the texts and tweets and everything as soon as Duran goes to the Phillies yesterday, and the immediate reaction is Mariners don't care. And I think that's unfair. You got to give it till the deadline ends. You got to give it till the deadline ends. I'll say this one more time. I will be surprised if they don't make another move before 3:00 today. Not shocked because you never know what's going to happen, but I would be surprised if they don't make another move today because of what I said earlier. And again, I told you I'll repeat this phrase 100 times today. Well, earlier I said 20. I'm bumping it up to 100 more. In for a penny, in for a pound. If you're going to make the 3 trades you've already traded for rentals, then you might as well go all the way and get yourself another leverage arm in the bullpen. You needed to do this first because, look, last night you could have had David Bednar, wouldn't have made a lick of difference because, unfortunately, you didn't score enough to win the game. Geno helps that, obviously. But now think about adding one more arm to your bullpen, shortening the game to 6 innings, knowing that you've got the starting rotation you've got. And look, at the end of the day, if the starting rotation isn't good enough this year, you throw up your hands and say, what are you going to do? That's what we built the team on, and unfortunately, those guys didn't deliver. That's a results thing, not a process thing. But the process of building around this rotation and now adding this lineup, I don't know how much more you could ask them to do. Well, just go out and get one more arm. Go do that.
Dipoto all but told Sirius Radio that they're going to be working on that until the last hour and be aggressive about it.
And I think they will. I mean, obviously, one big name is off the board yesterday, but I think you've got still a few more, and Griffin Jackson still be, that name that I've got circled. I don't know whether Minnesota's going to deal him after dealing Duran. They may just say, hey, we dealt one, but we still need a closer, and we're not that far away, yada, yada. So you may not have an opportunity there. David Bednar would still be available, and couple other guys out there as well that we'll talk about over the course of the morning. We got to take a break. I'm sorry, I'm so late. We got to go do Need to Know. We got some football stuff on the horizon today as well. But we are talking a lot of Mariners who sure appear to be, as Lyle just said, quote unquote, all in at the trade deadline.
All together now.
Hey, Eugenio!
You know what I'm talking about.
On a roll.
They acquire now the best bat available in Eugenio Suarez. They've already acquired the other best bat.
Josh Naylor, yes indeed.
We're all over baseball's trade deadline.
I thought, like, oh my God, what if they actually do it? What if they add both Suarez and Naylor?
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license, unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization, video streams, and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a month and bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-298-7906. 800-298-7906.
It's time for your summer road trip service at Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton. Before you hit the road, stop by and get your vehicle road trip ready with their incredible service departments, no appointment necessary. Now through July 31st, you can receive $100 off when purchasing 4 eligible tires. Whether you're in the north or the south, their expert technicians have you covered. Visit Toyota of Renton and Toyota of Kirkland today for your summer road trip service and drive into adventure with confidence. Offers valid through July 31st, 2025. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible, overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Got neighbors? Big Trees can help. This is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. If you've been considering planting trees to add privacy, look no further than Big Trees. Privacy trees fill in empty spaces, help to define property lines, and add curb appeal. Learn more about Big Trees' big supply of privacy trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
Bump
letting you know the Employee Pricing Plus event is on at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. The 2025 Ram 2500 is a beast with class-leading torque and towing. But don't sleep on the new grille, LED lights, and tech upgrades. On sale now for $9,000 off MSRP. Subject to credit approval. Offer ends July 31st. West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Hazelwood has it.
You gotta love baseball season. But when it comes to your windows, you don't want any curveballs. Rick Riz here, reminding you to trust your clubhouse with locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Experience the difference with high-quality products, expert installation, and top-notch customer service. It's always a home run with Pella. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Just go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Head to T-Mobile Park August 5th through 10th as the Mariners celebrate Ichiro's induction into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. The festivities will be packed with must-have collectible giveaways, like an exclusive Funko Pop, 2004 jersey, and a replica of his Cooperstown plaque, plus his number retirement ceremony and more. It's going to be legendary.
And there it is! He's the new all-time hit king in Major League history, number 258.
Get your tickets at mariners.com/Ichiro.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Welcome back. Eugenio Suarez. Mariners get ahead of the deadline and bring back the bringer of good vibes himself. They don't give up a whole lot. Tyler Locklear and two pitchers you probably never heard of. This is a pretty good day for Seattle and for these Mariners, and obviously they are excited about it. Dan Wilson cut 3 on what adding Geno means to this lineup. No? Lyle, we got cut 3. We have Dan. Lyle. Hello.
Sorry, we're working on it.
All right, we got a little sound issue. We're going to figure that out in a moment. In the meantime, I'll just tell you it's a good deal, and they're happy. Dan is excited to add 36 home runs. By the way, the most ever for a player traded at the deadline. JP is excited because they're getting a good teammate back. Cal is excited because it takes more of the pressure off him. And, oh, by the way, this was their second deal of the day, right? Earlier snagged lefty reliever Caleb Ferguson from the Pirates in exchange for young righty Jeter Martinez. Ferguson, another rental player, but he's having a good year for Pittsburgh. And look, Jeter Martinez has a little upside, but he's a few years away from the big leagues and quite frankly has struggled in single A. So another really nice trade for a lefty reliever that the Mariners really need. And guess what? They still got plenty of options if they want to part with any of their top 10 prospects. So I'm not going to say I will be shocked, but I would be surprised if the Mariners don't make another deal today. Good for them. In for a penny, in for a pound.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Unfortunately, this is coming at a time where they really do need the help. Where is the offense? Since the break, they're scoring 4.7 runs per game in the 6 wins, but 13 total in the 7 losses, and that was after trying to come back last night, but just not quite able to get there. Mariners lose their second in a row in Sacramento and unfortunately come home after a losing road trip. It was good to see Brian Wu go 6 once again. He always goes 6. He's done it in every single start, setting a team record with 21 straight. But he was good, not great last night, done in by 3 home runs. Andujar hit 1, Hernandez hit 1. It just was done in by the home run ball in a park where that's going to happen. And then, of course, the offense just didn't get enough going. Hit a couple of home runs, but not able to put guys on base in front of them. And so they fall last night. Meanwhile, even worse, Astros win, Red Sox win, Rangers win. So they drop a game to each of those 3. Means they're back down to 5 out in the West, and it was a 3-4 road trip. Mariners will be back home tonight for big homestand, starting against those Rangers, and then White Sox and Rays coming in after that. 2 of those 3 teams, obviously, fighting for a wild card spot. You'll see George Kirby on the hill against Kumar Rocker tonight.
here's the third thing you need to know.
Yeah, kind of hard to imagine the Seahawks without John Schneider at the helm, and that's going to continue for quite some time. He signs a 4-year extension yesterday. Lyle, do we have the sound working yet?
Let's give it a shot.
All right, let's try cut 10. Here is John Schneider, who spoke to Wyman and Bob yesterday.
Very grateful for Jody and the trust that she's put in myself and Coach Mike, and yeah, excited to keep rocking this thing.
Well, as he should be. It's been a pretty good situation, and trying to think about why this is happening, I got to imagine there is an element, quite simply, of Jody Allen looking at the decision he made in Mike Macdonald, the decisions he's made in the draft the last couple of years, and saying, okay, who's the best person to find the next franchise quarterback for this franchise? And assuming that is John Schneider. A lot of this does have to do with relationships, with, as Brock has said many times, alignment. Cut 11, Schneider says, yeah, they were able to get some of that alignment.
But when Pete and I got together, we had talked about, to Pete's credit, it was like, hey, this strong marriage. Like, we were going to, put our egos aside. We're going to have the strongest head coach, general manager marriage in the league. We had both been fired, and we knew what it looked like for, little kind of BS power grabs and that sort of thing. And it doesn't work. It can, but it's not. It doesn't create a real fun culture, right? And so with Mike, it's really that same thing where we're really focused on that marriage aspect and working together every day, and how are we evolving and getting better and moving the club forward, and just being. He talks about chasing edges, but being in the forefront of what's coming, and how are we anticipating things?
Yeah, all of that and more. You hear the horns. That's for practice. It was really just a walkthrough yesterday, but they will get back to full practices today, and we're over here to talk to Mike Macdonald, who will join the show at 9:30. That is everything you need to know. Quarter past every hour here on the Brock and Salk show. Splitting the baby a little bit today as we talk Mariners and talk Seahawks. Huge day for the Mariners as they get Geno Suarez. They get, they've already gotten Josh Naylor, and then, of course, a reliever and Caleb Ferguson yesterday as well. And I don't think they're done. They've got a few more hours until 3 o'clock today. So what is that? 5-3, about 8.5 more hours left to go before the trade deadline. So I'm sure Justin and Jerry are up early and working the phones and talking to East Coast teams where it's already almost 9:30 over there. So
do you think they actually slept?
I would think they got a little bit of sleep, because you got to be at least at your best, right? I think they might have slept more than Shannon and some of the guys on the team. Yes, you sleep in shifts. Yes, somebody's required to monitor the phones at all times. Yeah, it's like when you're out, on a in a mission, and somebody to watch. Yeah, you got to do the. I don't know. I'm not going to even pretend I've ever done anything like that. Let's take a quick break. Albert Breer was with us yesterday, and he was awesome. I still want to let you guys hear it because we're also in Seahawks preview mode, and then starting at 7, we're going to go hardcore Mariners for quite some time, talking through Geno, talking through why this got done, and talking through the guy that may have changed the entire trajectory of this team. We'll talk through all of that starting at 7 after Albert Breer next.
All together now.
Hey, Eugenio!
Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
On a roll.
They acquire now the best bat available in Eugenio Suarez. They've already acquired the other best bat.
Josh Naylor, yes indeed.
We're all over baseball's trade deadline.
I thought, oh my God, what if they actually do it? What if they add both Suarez and Naylor?
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Trick or Trout, I Salmonly Swear, and, oh, it gets worse, New Squid on the Block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
The greatest stories aren't found in books, or films, or folk songs. The stories that truly bring us together are found in ESPN Fantasy Football. Stories of late-round love and first-round heartbreak. Tales of Hail Marys and Monday Night Miracles. Chronicles of punishments. Oh, the punishments. Friends growing closer than ever through the power of humiliation. It's all here. And while the football might be fantasy, the stories, very real. Download the ESPN Fantasy app, sign up, and write the story of your season. Seattle Sports is giving you a shot at winning 4 tickets to see the Seattle Seahawks host the Kansas City Chiefs on August 15th. Just open the Seattle Sports app, tap the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter. You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances. Enter daily from July 30th through August 4th. Full details and rules at seattlesports.com/win. From the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app. The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
If it's game day or any day, Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are your MVPs for trucks and SUVs. Experience the power of choice with the Tundra at 1.99% APR for 72 months. The Tacoma leasing at $299 a month. The all-electric BZ4X with 0% APR and the RAV4 leasing at just $319 a month. Find that all-star lineup at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com. Offers valid through August 4th, 2025. Excludes taxes, license, and negotiable $200 dealer documentation fee. See dealership for details.
10-time MLB All-Star, 10-time Gold Glove Award winner, MLB single-season hit leader, a one-of-a-kind player.
And there it is. He's a new all-time hit king in Major League history, number 258.
Head to T-Mobile Park in August as the Mariners celebrate Ichiro's induction into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. The festivities kick off with a 3-day Ichiro Hall of Fame Funko Pop giveaway, Tuesday, August 5th through Thursday, August 7th. On Friday, August 8th, arrive early to score a 2004 Ichiro jersey like the one he wore when he broke the MLB single-season hit record. Saturday, August 9th, will feature Ichiro's pregame number retirement ceremony, and the first 20,000 fans on Sunday the 10th will take home a replica of his Cooperstown plaque. It's going to be legendary.
On a tremendous throw by Ichiro. He threw something out of Star Wars.
Get your tickets at mariners.com/Ichiro.
The Davis Law Group Charity Golf Tournament heads to the Prospector Course in Suncadia on August 20th. Proceeds benefit Life Support I-90, funding life-saving training and equipment for the first responders on call every day, covering the thousands of travelers heading over the I-90 corridor east of Snoqualmie Pass through Cle Elum and the surrounding areas. Tee times and sponsor packages are limited, so sign up today at dlggolf.com. That's dlggolf.com, because the life you save could be your own.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
Fourth down territory. Going inside. Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
Who will make the biggest plays on offense this year?
I think the bigger plays in the pass game this year are going to be made by MVS. That he is going to be the sniper in this whole deal. Snipers, they aren't seen, but their impacts are big. But I'm talking about bombs. Throwing that thing deep over the top. I think MVS will and should be the leader when it comes to that.
Fourth down territory. Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart rate.
We got some more time here with Albert Breer of Monday Morning Quarterback, who's in studio with us before he heads over to spend his day at Seahawks practice today. It's been a little up and down since padded practice started. I was there 2 days ago, and the defense won the day and the offense lost the day sort of at the same time. Yeah. And then yesterday, it sounds like that kind of flipped. I wasn't there, but the quarterbacks had a much better day. You talk through the importance of a good roster versus the importance of a quarterback. Where do you see the national media does not in general seem to be very high on the Seahawks team? What do you see when you look at the roster and the quarterback position and the coaching staff and all of it?
I actually think the roster is pretty decent. I think they're sort of, and I was with the Packers, and they sort of strike me as like the Packers in this way, where they've done a good job over the last few years of drafting solid players onto the roster. Now the question is, can some of those guys elevate to another level? And in Green Bay, it's, they have this group of receivers, like 5 or 6 of them, that they know can play, but can any of them be a top guy? Can Dontavian Wicks be a top guy? Can Jaden Reed be a top guy? Same thing here. I feel like, can Charles Cross looks to me like a guy who's got the potential to elevate into a top 5 left tackle. Can he become that? Jackson Smith and Jigba, I think, showed he could be a number 1 guy, like the focal point of an offense last year, but can he really elevate and become a true difference maker? Can Witherspoon be one of the best corners in football? They've got all of these guys that are at or near the end of their rookie contracts, and there are going to be big decisions to come on all of them. And a lot of that's a result, I think, of the capital they got in the Russell Wilson trade, where I think getting all of that draft capital, I think, coincided with a little bit of a bounce back in how they were drafting and developing here. Mm-hmm. And so now where does that group go? Because I think they've got a lot of guys, a lot of young guys on the roster. Kenneth Walker too, young guys who can play. Big decisions coming on them. Can those guys elevate and find another level?
Yeah, Derek Hall, Boye Mafe. Can they go from good to great, which is such a theme across all of the NFL, seemingly every single year. But, let's get back to the quarterback conversation. Who is Sam Darnold to Burt Breer?
I think if you're the Seahawks, and I've used this comparison with you guys before, but the Alex Smith in Kansas City thing, right? Like where Alex Smith was so valuable to Andy Reid and the Chiefs because they had the first pick that year. They trade for Alex Smith. They decide we don't feel great about the quarterbacks, which, by the way, they were exactly right on. That was the E.J. Manuel. Geno went in the second round that year. And that gave them a chance to compete in the here and now. But it also created a scenario where they didn't have to force it. Like they could just wait for the right opportunity to come along, and like whenever that quarterback that they saw as really that's the guy, then we can move aggressively and go and get him. And eventually it happened. It took 4 years to get there, but eventually they saw Mahomes, and I think a different light than a lot of other people saw Mahomes, and they strike, and the rest is history. I think that's sort of what you're looking at with Sam. You had that with Geno, I think, and now you reset that to some degree with Sam, and you hope that Sam can replicate what he was able to do last year in Minnesota, because I think that player is there, and I think especially with Clint Kubiak here, you have an idea, you have a blueprint for how to have him be that guy. Can he be the type of guy who is the best player on a Super Bowl champion? I don't know about that, but I think he can absolutely be a very competent playoff quarterback that, again, can maybe give you what the Chiefs had with Alex Smith pre-Mahomes.
I'm a little curious what you'll see when you go over there and watch practice, because one of the big challenges the Seahawks have is they do not have a lot of dynamic weaponry,
right?
Especially on the outside, and that sort of leads to your question about Jackson Smith and Jigba and whether he can make that leap. And I don't necessarily think that's a problem, as long as it's a complementary piece of your offense, as long as you're running the ball and using play action and helping those less dynamic playmaking guys kind of reach a potential and do what they do well, rather than asking them to do something beyond that. If this team's in 3rd and 8 every series, I don't see how they can compete. They traded DK Metcalf and Geno Smith, and when you did that, I was really hoping that was going to lead to, okay, cool. They also went out and did what Minnesota or Chicago did on their offensive line. They didn't do that. So how do you get enough from the running game without having gone deep? I mean, Gray Zabel's a good pick, but is there enough there?
But the interior of their offensive line was a dumpster fire last year. We can call it what it was, right?
Like, which dumpster fire for a decade.
And that's why you have to. That's why you go and you take a guard where you took him. Is
that enough?
And I think a lot of it, it's in a weird way, I think a lot of it relates to the defense and the terms you're playing games on, right? So I think you got like backs that can get it done. I think you've got, quarterback who can move. And I think if you're able to play, I think having a really good defense is going to allow you to play games on your terms, right? To your point, if you're in 3rd and 8 a lot, well, sometimes that can be a function of are you behind, right? If you have a couple tough series to start a game, is it now is it 10-0? And if it's 10-0, do you have to play the game differently? So you can't keep investing into the run game. So I think a lot of it's going to ride on the makeup of the team. And I think the one thing that you can hang your hat on here is Mike Macdonald has seen that formula in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Clint Kubiak's dad was part of that in Baltimore, and a really, really successful iteration of it where, John Harbaugh, when he had Gary Kubiak, they didn't think they would. Gary Kubiak at the time was I'm done being a head coach. And then the Denver opportunity came along and it was too much for him to pass up. But, John Harbaugh thought so much of Gary Kubiak, this is going to be my coordinator for the next decade. And obviously it didn't work out. But we've seen, that offense within the context of the Ravens program. So there's a blueprint there. How quickly do you get Gray Zabel up and running? What do the other 2 interior offensive line spots look like? Can Kenneth Walker stay? All of that, I think plays into it, but the defense does too, because I think playing that type of game, it's a narrower path to victory than having a great quarterback.
Mm-hmm. I think this conversation just spurred a bunch of different thoughts with me. And honestly, I come back to the college game, Bert, and I think of so many programs that are not Ohio State or Alabama or Michigan with the resources. So what do we have to do? How do we disrupt it? If we don't have all that they have talent-wise and financially-wise, what do we have to do to disrupt? I wonder here if Mike Macdonald has to be as large and significant a disruptor as any coach competing against these guys.
Right, and I think what you did...
Because that was John's belief. John didn't say, let me find the next great offensive guy. Sean McVay wanted him to. Shanahan wanted him to. He interviewed all of them. But ultimately, he's like, if I'm actually going to beat these QBs, I need a disruptor to the market.
And that's, he's coming from a place that is that. The Ravens have for a long time been okay, you're going to zig, we're going to zag. And they, at the beginning, it's not that way anymore, but at the beginning, they were more or less running a service academy offense, with Lamar. And the bet there was, okay, you're putting, you're building to play against Patrick Mahomes in the AFC, and you're putting 215-pound linebackers on the field, and you're putting 190-pound safeties in the field. Yep. And you know what? We're coming right at you. And now they've got a 260-pound robot at running back to do it, in Baltimore. So I think that, again, that's another thing when Mike Macdonald's roots were, okay, this is where the league is going. Mm-hmm. This is where our competition is going. We're going to go over there. And so we're going to be the most difficult team to play for everyone to play against, because what they're preparing for when they play us is totally different.
Why aren't more teams trying to emulate Baltimore? I guess they haven't won a lot of championships during that time.
Right.
But man, it sure feels like year in, year out, they are as consistent and as competitive of any team.
And their identity.
In the game. It's so clear.
Their identity. It's been the same for 25 years.
Yes.
You know what I mean? For the most part. I mean, it's dressed up differently and there are differences, but who they are hasn't changed since Ray Lewis was a young player there, So I think doing that, it's as simple as it just boils down to ownership, I think, in a lot of cases. Yeah. And it takes a commitment to do that. And it takes like, hey, we have to draft this way and we have to sign players this way. And we may take a beating on shows like yours for a year or two, but once we get it up and running, it's going to work. Like, there aren't a lot of owners that have the patience and the foresight to see something like that through. It's easy to hire. You could hire somebody to do that. But it's easier just to hire hey, like, we're going to bring this guy to come and coach our quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that part of it is
what they did in Chicago.
Right.
And it may work, by the way. I'm not saying it wouldn't work,
yeah.
but it's a very different approach.
Right. It's a different approach.
That's what Mike Mayock said. It still strikes me. We had Mike on before the draft and just his life experience of being on the outside and being on the inside. And 25 teams just don't really have a chance because they don't have alignment.
Right.
That was his word again and again. Alignment, from ownership to presidency to GM to true alignment. And is there anybody better than the Ravens? I mean, the Chiefs maybe to some degree.
Right. I mean, and it's like Ozzie Newsome leaves and Eric DeCosta's ready to roll and he's their guy and Ozzie's still kind of there as a consultant.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs, there's no question like what they're looking for in players. So you look at like what they've done defensively, they don't get enough credit for it. Like that they're drafting guys like George Karlaftis and Nick Bolton and Trent McDuffie, and it's just become this player development machine where it's like we know exactly what they're looking for. Now they bring in Josh Simmons to play left tackle for him, a huge problem for them last year, and they can take that sort of risk because they're so established. Like Josh Simmons had maturity questions and injury questions coming in. If you're a bad team, you maybe can't take that chance.
Is he a Buckeye?
He's a Buckeye.
Oh,
well, I'll give you a non-Buckeye. How about?
Interesting.
But how about this? How about this?
Oh, Travion, is he a Buckeye? Let's see. Go through all the Buckeyes.
You better be watching G. Scott Jr. over at Patriots training camp. That's all I know. His dad's right outside here.
I was talking to G. Scott Sr. about that here a second ago. But it becomes an inherent advantage. Like,
Philly's got to have some of that now too, right?
Philly. Well, that was the next example I was going to bring up was Jalen Carter. A lot of people are like, how did Jalen Carter make it to the 9th pick?
Because the Seahawks passed on him?
Because other teams couldn't bring him in. You couldn't bring him in because he had the character issues were so serious with him. I mean, like, he was involved in like that girl's death.
Mm-hmm.
And like this, so there were such serious character-ish things where it's like, if you aren't up and running, if you don't have an established program, then you can't swing on that.
So where are the Seahawks in this? Because Pete and John and I think Paul and on to Jody, I think you would have to include that from a winning standpoint in the last 15 to 20 years.
And knowing exactly what they were looking for.
In the early part of that, were they as aligned at the end of that? I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there was the same kind of alignment for the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think it's with going from Paul Allen to Jody, obviously, I think that there was a lot of, I'd say there was just like, I don't know if you call it curiosity or discomfort, but like I know there were those questions like, is she going to be more involved? Is she going to operate differently? So like, and that's probably settled a little bit because she's been around a little while now. Mm-hmm. And I still think it's to be determined with John and Mike, like let's see John get through a couple drafts of putting players on the roster. Let's see how Gray Zabel looks. Eamon Wari, I think is going to be really interesting because, you've got like I think a lot of people around here would look at him and say Cam Chancellor, but for Mike Macdonald, it's probably Kyle Hamilton, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's the model for what they want to do with him. So John was so dialed in on what Pete needed and what Pete wanted in players. And can you reset that? And like, I think it takes like a couple years to really see what that looks like.
When you see him, by the way, in person, you will not think he does not look like Cam Chancellor. He is taller and leaner. No one looks like Cam Chancellor.
No, but Kyle Hamilton, I think.
Yeah, right? It's probably I've never seen him in person, but that's probably a much better comp. So it's interesting you bring up, and we're talking to Albert Breer, who's in town and in studio before he goes over to Seahawks practice later today. I could follow up on the Service Academy offense and whether or not that's something Jalen Milroe could run, but I want to stay with the alignment thing because I think we're going to talk to Mike Macdonald tomorrow, so maybe we'll ask him about some of this. I wonder how challenging that was for him last year, but not up, down. I mean, he came into a situation with Geno Smith and Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, 3 guys that are no longer here that were really the old guard. I mean, that was
dyed-in-the-wool Pete guys.
Those were Pete guys, and they learned the NFL the Pete way, and in Geno's case, maybe not, but was almost saved by him.
The way Geno talks about Pete, it's like his dad.
I mean, the other 2 guys, that's all they ever knew. Geno, I mean, it's honestly like he saved him from purgatory. And
Geno was talking to Pete during the season last year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we talked about that. So if you're Mike Macdonald, you almost have to have come in last year, I would think, and kind of like, I don't know, tried to mold yourself to work with these 3 guys who held a lot of sway, but had always done things a different way. He could be entirely freed up from that now to actually make this Mike Macdonald's team instead of the Pete holdovers.
And that's always tricky, I think, for a new coach that takes over a place that isn't necessarily broken. You know, like when you come in, it can be more difficult to take over a place where they've won than if they went 2-14.
Right.
Because you're coming in and you're saying, like, okay, like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. We're going to change this, we're going to change that. If it doesn't work right away, like, the players can be like, the way we did it before was working okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that can linger sometimes with certain guys, and you have to, and that can be a challenge if you are taking over a place that wasn't broken. And this place, I think you guys would agree, wasn't broken, you know? Maybe you need the change, but it wasn't broken. So I do think that there's that piece of it where you're flushing some things out. And, you know, it's like one of the reasons why, you know, you look at what Washington did last year with Dan Quinn. Almost every player that they signed in free agency had background with someone on their staff. Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler came from Dallas with DQ. Austin Eckler was with Anthony Lynn with the Chargers. I mean, you can go right on down the list. Almost every single player they signed in free agency had some sort of background. And so now, like, I think you see a little bit of that now with Sam Darnold coming over. Well, he was with Clint Kubiak in San Francisco. You need some torchbearers, you know, for your program and for what you're trying to build. And maybe they're getting closer to that now.
I'm curious, you're going to be your 9th stop, you said, or 10th?
9th, yeah.
Your 9th. One thing that has struck us, and this week we've talked to a player every single day, and all of our shows have, and the afternoon guys, midday are all out there. And the one thing, almost to a man with all the interviews, is the word vulnerability. There's just a transparency with the players to be so much more vulnerable. We can talk about the difference in camp style and everything else from the old days, but there's just no question the guys are so much more open and willing to talk about, especially in this program. And I'm curious in the 8 other stops, if you get that sense, is that a league-wide
like vulnerability, like being able to just speak freely about
themselves, their path, their journey, their failures, their, you know, just their.
I think part of that, Brock, like, might be a result of who's coming into the league. You know, I even thought about this. Like, this is like a crazy thing that hit me watching them and thinking about, like, how camp looks so different. Like, some of these guys, like most of the league now, probably didn't have 2-a-days at any level, right? Like, they didn't have it in high school, like, let alone not having it in the pros. Like, it's gone everywhere now, you know. So it's a different world, and I do think NIL kind of plays into what you're talking about, where these guys are, where maybe 10 years ago they're coming from college, and there is that coach is the king, and I can't express I'm a foot soldier.
Yep.
In this emperor's palace.
But it's weird. You would think that with more empowerment, which is what you're speaking to, that you'd be a little bit more like, you know, but there's more transparency. And I do wonder if that is a Mike Macdonald.
It might be, yeah.
I mean, that's how he operates. I mean, I think that was one of the first things that we said, finished the interview, first time, like, off the air, like, whoa, this guy's pretty darn vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like, with what I know.
Like, I'm not good about that yet.
What I don't know
how to do that yet.
And maybe it's generational too, because he's younger than the 3 of us significantly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And more of them are going to be, by the way. That's about to be a theme.
Well, it was like you had McVay as like the outlier out there that was like way younger than, like, he's like, McVay, I think, is 5 or 6 years younger than me, but he was the outlier. Now he's not the outlier anymore. It's going to, like, the math's not going to get better for us.
No.
Hey, circle back here today. You leave us. You're going to head down there. You're going to watch them. What are 2 or 3 things that you have to see today? The Breer
Sam's the obvious one. Okay. Like I want to watch Sam and see how he's operating. And I think, I had this. I had this when I came here before. 3 or 4 years ago, I remember walking off the field with a coach, and the coach said to me, coaching Geno has made me reevaluate how I look at quarterbacks now, and it makes me wonder how many more guys there are out here like that got highly drafted, that played before they were ready, that got broken, that went and backed up somewhere, and oh yeah, by the way, 4 or 5 years later, if somebody gives them a chance, then they're a different player. I'm telling that story because I can remember sitting in my office on Christmas night 2 years ago, and the Ravens were blowing the Niners out. And Sam got in that game. And I don't know why I started paying attention, because the game's over. But it was like Sam led the team right down the field to like a garbage time touchdown. And I was like, holy crap, that looks like a different player. Mm-hmm. And I circled up with the Viking, with Kevin and with Wes Phillips and some of the guys in Minnesota. I said, did I see this right? And they're like, yeah, that was one of the main things. Like we saw that once Kyle, we saw a little bit of it in Carolina, and then once Kyle got his hands on him, all of a sudden he started playing faster. So for me, like that's a big one, is seeing him play fast and seeing whether or not like you can kind of see the rhythm to his game. Because I think like the issue with Sam when he was young, Adam Gase got him and tried to make him Peyton Manning. And Gase had his greatest success on it. That is not who he is. Mm-hmm. You have to take the mental load off. You have to get him playing fast. He's an athlete, And so that's one thing I'm going to look for is the rhythm and speed with which he plays.
Let me jump in just because we got some breaking news while you're sitting here. Jake Glazer reporting just a moment ago, and I'm sure you'll go talk about this more when you get over there. He says continuity in Seattle. The Seahawks have given John Schneider a 4-year extension, keeping their president of football operations and GM through the 2030 draft. This will take him through at least his 20th draft with the organization.
Jeez.
How about that?
That's continuity. That's continuity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean,
that surprised you at all? Something you would have expected?
So it's a 4-year extension, which means he would have been up. So he's in a contract year.
Mm-hmm.
No, because I think if they didn't match him up with Mike Macdonald, so sometimes, when you hire a new coach and you've got the incumbent GM, what you'll do is you'll give the GM an extension so they have matching contracts.
And that's exactly what happened. Huge thanks to Albert Breer for joining us for an hour yesterday in studio. That was awesome. He's a great dude. And if you missed any of the interview, it's all up on YouTube. Today, though, is a day mostly to talk Mariners. We'll have Mike Macdonald a bit later on the show, 9:30 this morning. But Geno Suarez is back. The lineup is set. The team is pointed in the right direction. What does it all mean? We'll dig into it together next.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
Who will make the biggest plays on offense this year?
I think the bigger plays in the pass game this year are going to be made by MVS. That he is going to be the sniper in this whole deal. Snipers, they aren't seen, but their impacts are big. I'm talking about bombs. Throwing that thing deep over the top. I think MVS will and should be the leader when it comes to that.
For Down Territory, every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At 65 years old, Brian has a rather demanding hobby.
My biggest passion is snow skiing, and I ski between 70 and 80 days per year. And I ski instruct at a private resort in Montana.
Needless to say, that can be a bit tough on the joints.
When this knee started to bother me, I thought, I'm doomed.
That's when Brian decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
If I did yard work or skied a few days in a row, I was fighting swelling and pain and no sleep and all sorts of problems, and that has absolutely gone away.
So are you back on the slopes?
I mean, I had a 14-day stretch with clients where I skied every day and had no problem. It was fine. It was just like, I felt like new.
So I'm guessing you would recommend this to others.
Oh, I already have. I've told everyone that'll listen.
Whether it's a shoulder, hip, or knee, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
It's really, truly a miracle.
Seattle home prices, well, they just keep going up, and you might be ready to take advantage. If you're getting ready to sell or just moved into a new home, now is the time to get a thorough inspection of your crawl space and attic. And don't do it yourself. You don't want to be crawling around in there. You probably don't even really know what to look for. It's Mike Salk here, and Crawl Pros will go where you don't want to, so you can know if there's anything going on in your crawl space or attic without having to crawl into and evaluate those spaces on your own. A free inspection will let you know if your home is energy efficient and if the air you're breathing is clean and safe. Plus, there are some really great utility rebates available right now to help you with the cost of the new insulation if it's needed. How nice would it be to get someone else to cover that cost? Had them out to my house, and it was a great idea. Did that free corner-to-corner inspection, found some issues, they took the pictures, showed them to me, and then solved the problem. No issues since. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible: overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All
All right, it is the Brock and Salk Show. Everybody united together. Brock and Maura and me all together over at the Seahawks facility today, Virginia Mason Athletic Center, as we will interview Coach Mike Macdonald at 9:30. We may talk a little Seahawks between now and then, but today is primarily a day, Brock, to talk about your Seattle Mariners, who have brought back the good vibes. The vibes are back. Eugenio Suarez is here. The rights have been wronged. Or the wrongs have been righted. I guess that's what it is. It rights the wrong, honestly. I do think so. I think what they did a couple years ago was wrong.
Yeah.
At the time, I understood why they were doing it. They were coming off a year with too many strikeouts and all the problems that went down that year, and they felt like they needed to make changes. And so out goes Teoscar Hernandez, and out goes Geno Suarez. And he did not have a great year that year, and he was, he's an older player, and, can you take that money and spend it better? And they tried to do that. They spent it on Mitch Garver. They spent it on, unfortunately, Urias. It didn't go anywhere. And Geno nearly got cut in Arizona half a season into that whole thing, and they would have acquired him back for nothing.
Yeah.
Instead, Geno became the best power hitter in baseball over the next year, and now you got to spend quite a bit to get him back. But they did.
Yeah.
And they got him back yesterday, and as of this morning, for the third time in 4 years, I think you would argue the Mariners have had the best trade deadline of anybody.
Well, they've had the biggest. I mean, they've made the most headlines. My phone blowing up last night after dinner, just with kind of baseball friends, sports friends, just counterparts kind of across the country. Gambo even giving me a call. I couldn't take the call. I'll have to tell him.
Yeah.
I was a
Gambo.
little busy, but there's just no question from just, if this were the NFL draft, Salk, or if this were NFL free agency, as we're here in an NFL building, that these would be the top headlines, right? These would be the conversations. This is the main storyline. The Mariners are all in. The Mariners follow through on what Jerry Dipoto has said the last week. The Mariners are going to go for it, just as the Mariners said. The Mariners have taken on money, just as the ownership told them they could do. And they are going for this thing, adding Eugenio and Naylor, something that we talked about, about 2 months ago, month and a half ago, when the whole thing kind of started. Like, hey, man, if you're going to go big. Go big. Don't go just for one. If you got an opportunity to go get both, look at what this can do to your lineup. Life's funny, Salk. Life's about timing, right? The last time I was sitting here in our studio at the VMAC, I was sitting right where Maura was sitting, and it was on the precipice of Gray Zabel being picked and just losing my mind and hopping.
Terrifying Wyman above.
Yeah, I mean, Wyman was on this side, and he's like you, Salk. His neck's all jacked. He's got pinched nerves. He can't look this way.
I get
that way. He's, he tries to contain his emotions much like you do.
Yep.
But I was going crazy. Last night, if I was in here, or as I am just hours after that happened, I'm super excited. I don't, baseball's such a funny game. Geno's such an up and down player. I'm super stoked for this. This is the right move. Now they've got to go out there and produce. Right? I mean, now it's
on them.
Now it's totally on the guys in the field.
Yes, I would agree with you on that. Like, the front office has done what it needed to do to make this a legitimately threatening playoff-style lineup. There's nothing else you could reasonably ask the front office to do for this lineup. Could you do one? Sure, yes. I'm not saying it couldn't get better, and, it might not be number one in the league, but you've now made this a very threatening lineup where 1 through 7 at the very least, and if you get Robles back, 1 through 8, you're talking about veteran hitters that have produced in the past, that have had hot streak, that are a threat to the other team. Not 1 through 4, not 2 through 5, 1 through 7. And again, you get Robles back, and if he's what he was last year at some point, you're talking 1 through 8. That is all you can reasonably ask of the front office.
Oh, and by the way, to do so without, the names that we've been talking about. Oh, what about Felnine Celestine? What about Arroyo? What about you're going to have to give up Logan Evans?
One of these guys might turn into something. That's fine. But for where you're at right now, you didn't give up jack squat. You haven't done anything. I mean, Locklear's fine.
I feel bad for Jack. How do we know he was a bad squatter? Like, he always gets ripped into that Jack squat. How do you know that? That's just not fair to Jack.
I think it's because you're not allowed to say Jack something else. Let's be clear.
Yeah, I mean, valuation-wise, this is nothing that anybody was talking, right?
Yeah, and
so did Arizona overplay their hand?
I think that, look, they're rental players.
Right.
Rental players are what they are in today's society, today's baseball world. They're only worth so much. They picked up 2 premier rental bats and a decent rental arm. We'll talk a little bit more about Caleb Ferguson, who's a good lefty. He's not incredible, but he's a good lefty. And all you give up is Tyler Locklear and 5 pitchers. You've probably only heard of 2 of them. Like, let's be clear. You've probably only heard of 2.
I had heard of Izzy. You watch him out.
No, you had not.
Yes, I
You had not. That's a lie. That's a flat lie.
Ashton Izzy, I had studied his next
No, you
level
had not.
baseball.
You've heard of Jeter Martinez, who thankfully is out of the organization. The idea that they even had someone named Jeter was disgusting to me from the very beginning. So I couldn't be happier. Of all the things the Mariners have done in the last 36 hours, getting rid of a guy named Jeter was the best thing they've done. I've hated that guy since the moment they signed him.
I so love trade dedeadline Salk. I love you.
My favorite
trade
day of the year.
Trade deadline Salk is
my
like
favorite
NFL
day of the year,
draft
baby.
Brock.
My favorite day of the year.
Hey, Brock.
Yes.
Hey, Brock. Where
Yes.
did Ashton Izzy go to school? Where did he go to college?
He went to SMU, Lyle. He was a Mustang.
False. He did not go. He did not go to college. Trick question.
I like the confidence. I knew he was a high school kid, to be honest. So now what? Now you got to go do one more. I mean, like they still have all of the assets they need, the whole arsenal. If they want to go get another leverage arm to add to this bullpen, which again wouldn't have helped last night, right? Like that was not the problem last night. That's for sure. It was the bats and some starting pitching, and maybe you still think they need a starting pitcher. I don't know, but if they can go get a leverage arm today, and by the way, I think there's only one available. I'm just looking through it. I would be because Duran went yesterday. I would be surprised if Minnesota is willing to trade both Duran and Jax. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'd be surprised. And they do have a couple other good relievers, right? We've talked about Colomb, et cetera. But those guys are, let's still call them middle relievers as opposed to leverage relievers. And I would be surprised if they were to trade both Duran and Jax. So for now, let's take Jax off the board.
Okay.
Cleveland just traded Paul Sewald, and their highest leverage arm was cheating, and sold himself to the devil. So let's allegedly take Cleveland off the board.
No Kate Smith either.
I don't think so. I mean I don't know. I would think Cleveland's out. Okay. I think that Minnesota is out. And I think that really, if you're talking about a leverage arm, the only guy left is David Bednar. So, by the way, I like Bednar, right? But that's
Pittsburgh, right?
Yep, Pittsburgh closer. We didn't get a chance to see him, right, Lyle, when they played against Pittsburgh, because we didn't get a chance to see any of the.
Every game was 1-0, 0-1, 1-0, but still didn't get to see him.
Do you know much about Bednar, Lyle?
Other than. Again, he's really good. He had a down year last year, but for like 4 of the last 5 years, he's been one of the better relievers in baseball.
He would be your high leverage arm. He'd be right there with Brash and Mooney, right?
I think so. I mean, I think he's a notch below Mooney, maybe a notch below Brash. But
and then Ferguson is right there with Spire?
Probably a touch below, and they do different things. Spire's going to strike guys out. This guy is going to get ground balls and give up some contact, but not going to give up the home run ball. He's only given up 1 all year. And now you're going to take them and put them into this ballpark. So, yeah, I mean, like, those are 2 guys you can feel comfortable using in spots where right now you might be using Vargas or Legumina.
But this is cherry on top, right? I mean, this is cherry on top. You ordered your dessert. You've added the whip.
I don't think it is.
You've added the whipped cream.
No.
You got the hot fudge.
No, I disagree.
You got that good little sundae that you grew
I think
up
if you're
going to
bother ordering a sundae, you might as well get this. If you're going to go to McDonald's and get a Big Mac and a large fries and break your diet, you might as well get the regular Coke instead of the diet. Like, you're in for a penny, in for a pound.
You ever go double Big Mac?
I have, but not since I was in high school.
Okay.
Like 2 Big Macs for $2?
No.
We used to do that in high school.
One of our assistant coaches said
double Big Mac.
Yes.
So you just add more patties to it without adding more bread.
Correct.
I like that move.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do it, don't get a Diet Coke at the end of that. Splurge and get the real thing. Like, you're already sucking down calories.
Sure.
You're already eating all that disgusting fat and grease and lard and everything else.
Well, what do we got, 9 hours?
Just get yourself a real Coke.
9 hours? Is that what we got?
9 hours,
today?
3 o'clock today. And I would say if I'm the Mariners and I've already done all this and I love everything they've done, you might as well go get one more.
All right, guys, goodbyes only. Don't forget it. Stop it. Thank you.
Hit break.
All together now.
Hey, Eugenio!
Hey, Lyle.
You know what I'm talking about.
On a roll.
They acquire now the best bat available in Eugenio Suarez. They've already acquired the other best bat.
Josh Naylor, yes indeed.
We're all over baseball's trade deadline.
I thought, like, oh my God, what if they actually do it? What if they add both Suarez and Naylor?
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
If you didn't think skipping breakfast was a big deal, you'd be right. Before. But now, Wendy's has Buck Biscuits. We're talking sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or even the Honey Buddy Chicken Biscuit for just $1 each. Seriously, you can get all 3 if you want. They're just $1, so you'll never skip breakfast again. If you're smart. Breakfast for $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction. Not valid in a combo while supplies last.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Your car steering wheel could be a ticking time bomb. At least 24 people have died and many more injured because their airbags fired shrapnel at them upon inflating. Tens of millions of cars have been recalled. If you suffered cuts that required stitches, hearing or vision loss, or broken bones, please contact us today. You could be owed money for medical bills and other damages.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Bump letting you know the Employee Pricing Plus event is on at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Get the 2025 Ram 2500 for $9,000 off MSRP. Subject to credit approval. Offer ends July 31st. West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
When the heat's an 11, cool AC would be heaven.
Dayandnight.net.
Some AC you'll be loving when your house is an oven.
Dayandnight.net.
Northwest summers are beautiful, but there's always a long hot stretch that makes everyone say, man, AC sure would be nice. Well, except for that one annoying friend who won't stop talking about how great his AC is. Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Don't sweat through another summer. Have Day and Night keep your house cool and comfortable by installing a high-efficiency AC or heat pump. Or if you have an existing system, we'll come and service it. Make sure it's running efficiently and ready to cool when you need it.
When the summer is cooking, we're the place to be looking.
Dayandnight.net.
Stay cool this summer with Day and Night. Call now to get 10% off an air conditioner or heat pump. Plus, no payments or interest for a year OAC. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Dayandnight.net.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Dave Wyman joined by a very special guest, Dr. Daniel Landis. He's on the Swedish CyberKnife team treating prostate cancer and accepting new patients. Dr. Landis, what could patients expect during CyberKnife treatment?
So the CyberKnife treatment's an outpatient procedure. Essentially, it's a 5-day treatment, about 30 minutes per day. You walk in, you walk out. You essentially don't feel anything at all during treatment. Many patients still work full-time while they're having treatment.
That's incredible. Where are your patients from?
We see patients from all over, patients from out of state, Alaska, Idaho, from all over the world, honestly, since it's such a short treatment.
How can someone get a hold of you?
Yeah, I would encourage patients to reach out to us directly. We'd be happy to schedule a consultation.
Thank you, Dr. Landis and the team at Swedish CyberKnife for the wonderful work they do. And remember, you don't need a physician's referral. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. That's Swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate.
Sparta's Pizza reminds parents 460,000 children are reported missing in our country every year. Please plan with your kids a safe, visible route to and from activities with at least one friend. Coach your kids to stay alert and be aware of their surroundings, and caution your children to never accept gifts or rides from strangers. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Sparta's Pizza and Spaghetti House, serving the best pizza in the universe in Linwood, Bothell, and Mill Creek, or find them online at spartaspizza.com.
You gotta love baseball season, but when it comes to your windows, you don't want any curveballs. Rick Riz here, reminding you to trust your clubhouse with locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Experience the difference with high-quality products, expert installation, and top-notch customer service. It's always a home run with Pella. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Just go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Pretty good day to be a Mariner fan as they welcome back Eugenio Suarez. Yes, they got ahead of the deadline and brought back the bringer of good vibes. Geno Suarez does return. They give up Tyler Locklear and a couple of young pitchers. And no reason not to be happy today if you're a Mariner fan. Your organization is in, they're invested, they're going for it, and they're bringing in the types of players that should be able to help over the last 2 months of this season. Cut one, J.P. Crawford says that is meaningful and nice to have an organization believing in them.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
No, we're still on the first thing you need to know. Just got to play a little J.P. Crawford, if we could. Cut one, J.P. pretty happy about the move yesterday.
Lyle?
Okay, that's not going to work. All right, I'll just tell you, J.P. is very happy. Dan's very happy. It was the second deal they made yesterday. Brock, they also got lefty reliever Caleb Ferguson from the Pirates in exchange for the young righty Jeter Martinez. Ferguson, rental player, but having a good year in Pittsburgh.
So we talk about all the time how much things are changing. Everything's upside down. Football as we know it has changed. This with baseball. Did this trade deadline turn back 10, 15 years? This is what rentals used to cost, right? This was the old. I remember having so many of these conversations with Graz over the years about this. Just a rental. Rentals aren't going to cost you anything. Because on paper, I think most of us and most Mariner fans look at this and go, did they just get a steal? You didn't have to spend one of your top, prospects? Garcia was number 11-ish, and outside of that, you didn't give up your blue chips. To get Eugenio Suarez and Josh Naylor to add to this lineup.
Because they're rentals. And if you want, that is the difference. Guys with club control cost a lot more. The market for rentals, there are too many teams that say, I'm just not going to do that.
I think there's also a lot of teams that are in the same boat that the Mariners group has been in, and that is just kind of looking out ahead and looking at budgets and looking at money.
Oh, I'm going to get to some of that.
I think there were a lot of teams that looked at that and go, yeah, we're not
in on that.
We can't do it.
And the Mariners
can't take on that kind of money.
Yeah, kind of waited and didn't spend a lot, obviously, in free agency this year, and have a little bit left over right now. Cut three, Dan Wilson excited about what this means for the lineup.
That's a really good thing, and it's exciting, and if it is in fact true, and I think in some ways for Geno coming home in a way, and that's kind of a nice touch too. But again, we'll just wait to see how it all turns out.
He doesn't sound all that excited, but hopefully he is more excited.
Well, his team just lost a series.
That's fair, and they should be frustrated. Geno was on the plane with the team. Shannon Drayer was there. She'll have the story for us at 9 o'clock this morning after she gets a quick cat nap. You mentioned that they lost yesterday, and they did. Not a good game, and really not a good road trip for these Mariners as they lose, 3 out of 7 on the trip, 2 out of 3 to an A's team that, has been winning, to be fair, and they've got some talent. But if you really are in this go-for-it mode, you'd like to start putting some of these teams away. Brock, they've been scoring in the wins. The problem is in the losses.
Nothing.
They scored 13 runs in the 7 losses.
Yeah. That's less than 2 a game.
Yeah,
and they've hit a lot of home runs. They just had nothing else.
Yeah.
I mean, even Polo got, the home run yesterday to inch it closer. That is it. They're not hitting with runners in scoring position. Again, only 2 opportunities all of yesterday. That looked like and felt like, not to make an excuse, because there's no excuses and no explanations in pro sports, as Tony Dungy would tell you. There's only execution and expectations. But that sure felt like 13 games in 13 days, 12 games in 12 days. The last couple games have just kind of felt like that as they kind of finish this stretch out.
Yeah, unfortunately,
with the Rangers.
he got 6 more, or 3 more anyway, before you get a break.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Hard to imagine the Seahawks without John Schneider at the helm, and that's going to continue for quite some time. He signs a 4-year extension yesterday, did speak to Wyman and Bob afterwards, cut 10. John, happy to be here.
Very grateful for Jody and the trust that she's put in myself and Coach Mike, and yeah, excited to keep rocking this thing.
Why do you think this deal gets done now? We talked to Albert Breer yesterday, and he made some nice points, I thought, about aligning it with Mike Macdonald. I'm sure that's part of it. But I have to imagine, and this would have been a full segment today were it not for the big Mariner deals, but I got to imagine 3 things are true. 1, they're happy. Jody's happy with the hiring of Mike Macdonald and thinks that was a good move by John Schneider. 2, she's happy with the last 2 draft classes post-Pete and feels like that's starting to correct itself and moving back in the right direction. And 3, she thinks John Schneider is the right person to find the next franchise quarterback for this team.
Yeah, I think all those are totally fair. And then 4, and what her and Bert and all the rest of the people get to feel around here on a daily basis is there's not many spots where you have somebody of his ilk that has as little ego as he has. That's truly about others. I thought Bob asked him a great question yesterday about what have you learned in all of these years of doing, where have you really grown the most? And he talked about just conflict resolution and being able to have hard conversations. And I don't think that was a strength early on but has, really grown and develops. And to do that without an edge and without an ego and without making it about you, that's hard to find in professional sports, Salky.
Team just did a walkthrough yesterday, so not much to report, but they'll be back at it this morning. 9:45 practice. I would hope a little juicy, and we'll talk to Mike Macdonald as the practice starts. 9:30 this morning, Coach will be sitting down with us. That is everything you need to know, and we do that 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. Working through a couple of technical things this morning.
It happens.
It happens. We'll worry about it. We're going to get it corrected.
When you're playing young players, things happen.
That's right. We're over here, and Mora's here, and we're complicating a lot of things today, and it's a tough day to do that. July 31st is...
Got random movie lines in his head.
I know. I think it's a good one. I think we'll get back to it here in a little bit. Today's my favorite day, man. I love the trade deadline. I think it's so much fun, and I love refreshing and looking at Twitter and everything else all day and just waiting to see who's going where. I love chatting with the contacts that I do have in baseball and hearing what they're doing and what they're up to and what they're thinking about and what the market's at and some of the frustrations. And I'm sure the Mariners were pretty mad when Joan Duran ended up going to Philly yesterday. I think they wanted him. I think they were in on him. I think they might have even had a package that they think, maybe the Twins didn't, but they think was competitive, if not better than what the Phillies were offering. But at the end of the day, the Twins get to make that decision. And Phillies gave up a lot. I mean, I don't know exactly what that would translate to in Mariner world.
It was 2 of their top 10, right? 4 and 6.
Their top 10.
Their top 10.
But if you look at it from a Mariner perspective, I can't tell you exactly what that would be, but it would be something like either Locklear or someone in his range, plus either Harry Ford or Michael Arroyo. Would you have given up Ford and Locklear for that?
Yes, I think I would have.
What if you then couldn't get Geno Suarez because you gave up Locklear?
Then I probably wouldn't have.
Right? I mean, that's how it starts to get a little bit complicated. But, I mean, Ty Pete's maybe in that same range. What if it had been Arroyo and Pete? You giving that up?
Probably.
I might have too, because you're getting multiple years of a guy throwing 100 miles an hour and what that brings. So I don't know exactly what they offered. I don't have that info, but I think they were pretty competitive there in trying to make that happen. You mentioned hard conversations. It is the perfect segue
I knew where you were
into what we want to talk about next, Brock. I'm so glad you used that phrase, because I think it's possible that for all of the great things Cal Raleigh has done at the plate, behind the plate, et cetera, this year, that the most important thing he did was in spring training. Cal Raleigh might have turned around the future of this franchise. That's next on Brock and Salk.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach Macdonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
It takes its toll.
Not to mention one other thing.
I had a near-fatal motorcycle accident. Absolutely obliterated my lower left leg again.
Philip couldn't live with the pain anymore, so he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
Listening to all these radio spots, I said, what do I got to lose?
What was your experience like with Dr. Wagner?
What I was so impressed with Mark about is that how often you have a surgery like this, and the guy calls you the next day to see how you're doing. I can't say enough good things about the guy, honestly.
And how are you feeling now?
I have no pain, none. Zero.
Wow. So would you recommend stem cell therapy to others?
I'm a fan, believe me. I'd recommend it to anybody.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. At Bail Arm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bailarm.com today.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used on your license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credits plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at cmobile.com.
The 2025 Seahawks season is almost here. Get fitted for game days with jerseys, caps, and tees, including the 2025 training camp collection. Visit the Seahawks Pro Shop at the Landing in Renton and Lumen Field or online at seahawks.com/pro shop.
Summer is in full swing, and T-Mobile Park is the hottest spot in Seattle. Don't miss out on special events like the next Mariners Fireworks Night this Friday, presented by T-Mobile. Cal Raleigh and the crew are taking on the division rival Rangers at 7:10, and after the final out, we'll be lighting up the sky with an epic post-game show.
Holy smokes, what a firecracker! Upper deck number 34 for the big number.
Go to mariners.com/fireworks to lock in your seats today.
Seattle Sports is giving you a shot at winning 4 tickets to see the Seattle Seahawks host the Kansas City Chiefs on August 15th. Just open the Seattle Sports app, tap the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter. You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances. Enter daily from July 30th through August 4th. Full details and rules at seattlesports.com/win. From the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app. The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
Need a new roof, a deck, siding, windows? Get up to $3,000 off any new installation. Hi, it's Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Home projects can add up fast, but we're here to help you save big. Book now and lock in up to $3,000 off in savings. That's $3,000 off any new installation. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate today. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Toyota of Renton and Toyota of Kirkland have that new car you've been looking for. With the power of choice, drive the sleek hybrid Camry leasing as low as $299 a month, the dependable Corolla, or the electric Prius leasing at just $309 a month. If you're headed to the ballpark or cruising I-5 from the north or the south, visit Toyota of Renton or Kirkland or shop online at toyotaofrenton.com and toyotaofkirkland.com. Offers valid through August 4th, 2025. Excludes taxes, license, and negotiable $200 dealer documentation fee. See dealership for details.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We know Cal Raleigh is having a season for the ages, the 41 home runs, the just star turn MVP candidacy, everything else.
Home run derby champ.
Come with Cal Raleigh this year, and at times putting this team on his back and specifically winning them games. I mean, like, there are probably half a dozen games you can point to and be like, no, Cal won that game.
Yep.
They all were there. Cal won that game. Is it possible, Brock, that the most important thing Cal Raleigh did this year was not on the field, was not in the clubhouse, but instead was in his meeting with the front office as he was looking to potentially sign that contract that he signed during spring training? It's possible. So the quote here via Daniel Kramer, who, by the way, had a heck of a day yesterday. Man, Kramer has been on the trade deadline. Give him big, big props. He has been right on top of all of this and coming up with and breaking the stories and right there. So big kudos to him. But via Daniel Kramer yesterday, Cal Raleigh and the Mariners front office, quote, "This is what we talked about in spring training when I was looking to sign here long term. And these were the things we talked about, these moments. And it makes you feel good about those guys following through." Now, I'm going to now take some big leaps. That's the fact. Those are the facts. Cal said that. I'm now going to start telling a story, okay?
Yeah, I don't know if you should be the one taking big leaps, like little leaps.
Oh, my God. I'm now going to take a big leap. I'm going to tell you a story. That was a fact.
Yes.
That's what Cal said.
Yes.
This is no longer fact. This is going to delve now into hypothetical.
And just one other fact to add to that. Remember, he moved on from Scott Boras, hired a different agency, right? So that's some of that background that we kind of felt when that happened, like, wonder why he did that.
Time to find an agent that will actually negotiate with the Mariners.
That's right.
So here's my story. I don't know what was said in that meeting. I wasn't there, and I haven't talked to Cal, and I haven't asked Justin or Jerry or anybody else who was in that meeting. But if I had to speculate, it would not surprise me if Cal brought up a couple of trade deadlines in the past. Hey, guys, we were in the middle of contending, and you traded one of our top relievers to our competitor, who, while they were in the other visitors' locker room, and we had just beaten them the night before on a grand slam. Hey, guys, we were kind of in between, not sure, but really close, and you traded Paul Sewald, who was one of the heart and souls of this team, right at the trade deadline. Please stop doing that. Please start believing in us and showing it. I don't know if that's what Cal said. I'm going to repeat it again. But it wouldn't surprise me if that was part of the conversation. It wouldn't surprise me if that was part of what Cal was the point he was trying to make. And so yesterday, you get the exact opposite. And not just yesterday. It's now been over the course of the last week. First dealing for Josh Naylor, then dealing for Caleb Ferguson, the lefty reliever from Pittsburgh, and then dealing for Eugenio Suarez. And we'll see what else happens today. I still think there's going to be one more move, but I obviously don't know that. Did Cal precipitate all this?
Well, I don't know how huge a leap that is, or maybe you and I are just in this thing together. You know, Thelma and Louise style, leaping off the cliff, Salk. But, I mean, he started this, right, at the end of those season comments a year and a half ago with, like, we need more. Like, we need more difference makers, and not to rip the guys here in the clubhouse, but, you know, we've got to add. And JP kind of followed along, you know, that conversation as well. And then we talked about it a whole bunch of how well Scott Service did, of navigating relationships and conflict resolution and hard conversations. And you know, this is really a very clear, hey, man, ownership added. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, while others are looking to shed payroll, including the team that you are now tied with in this wild card, who, the Texas Rangers spent really large money a couple years ago on Simeon and Seager and added huge dollars. Reports out today that they're actually looking to shed some payroll.
They're under financial constraints.
Yes.
Yeah, I have that in my notes for a little bit later.
And what did the Mariners? Hey, man, for all of the grief and all of the language and all of the emotion that we expend, and rightfully so in the offseason, where it's like, what? Donovan Solano? You know, look at what they just did over the last 6-7 days. They added significant millions of dollars where many of their peers, A, did not, and B, are actually looking to shed payroll.
I said it an hour ago, I'll say it again. As of today, the Mariners, for the third time in 4 years, have had the best trade deadline of anyone. Mm-hmm. As of today.
As of today.
As of today. I mean, we'll wait and see what else has happened. But as of right now, I don't think you could argue anyone's had a better trade deadline this year.
And
Last year,
that
they got
is
Randy
okay.
Arozarena and the other two guys they brought in, and 2 years before that it was Luis Castillo.
So add some context, not just like a headline. So why have they, in your opinion, had the best trade deadline in baseball?
Well, they've acquired the two best bats.
Okay.
I mean, like right there, that's the answer. They've also acquired an arm that is helpful. Mm-hmm. He's not I don't want to overrate Caleb Ferguson, but he is an arm that will get used here down the stretch.
He's pitched in 3 NLDSs.
Absolutely.
He's been in big moments with the Dodgers. You know, the Yankees. He's been there before.
Yeah.
Now, he's not brash or moony. He's a little more Spires with a different flair, you said. Spires a strikeout guy.
And maybe
this guy's
a step down from that, but he's a good pitcher. He's going to help them.
Okay.
And they haven't really given up much to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, what other team would you argue is even in the running for having the best trade deadline? Just be Philadelphia, who gets Juan Duran. And they, by the way, may continue to add. And maybe at the end of this, we'll say, well, whose did you think was better, one or the other? But all right, even if you say Philadelphia had a better trade deadline, okay, they had the second best deadline, and by splitting hairs, and that starts to become something.
Yep.
By the way, Philadelphia has given their that team, that group of players has given their management even more of a reason to buy than this team has, right? Philadelphia is 6 games ahead of where them, or 4 or 5 games ahead of where the Mariners are, and they're half a game out of first place, and we've seen them go to the World Series in the last couple. Like, they have given their management group every reason to continue to invest in them. You could make the argument this team has not quite done that, right? I mean, you're in second place, and right now third, maybe out of the wild card, tied in that spot, but you are lucky. Because the American League stinks on ice. Because there is no great team in this American League. Because the AL Central just took a total nosedive, almost as a collective group, after being better than expected last year. Because your division is wide open. And Houston, by the way, has another major injury. It looks like what's his name is going to be out now for the rest of the year.
Paredes.
Yep, going to be out for the rest of the year. They've had all kinds of problems. Their GM is babbling about how getting a couple guys back from injury is going to be as good as a trade deadline acquisition. So you are poised to take advantage. I mean, the stars have aligned.
Yes.
And credit to them, and I think credit to Cal for saying, hey, enough trading Kendall Graveman at the deadline and pissing off the clubhouse. Enough trading Paul Sewald at the deadline and treating players like, from their perspective, treating players like assets rather than people. You have to, and Geno Suarez, trading him probably fits that same mold by all accounts, and I know this from Scott Service's own mouth. The best guy he ever managed, personality-wise. The best leader, the best person he was ever around, and you heard that thought echoed over and over again
right?
yesterday.
Just a selfless guy.
Just a good dude.
Just a good dude that cares about others. Yeah, and you add all that in, the production, as you said, of those 2 bats, the production of a left-handed arm, the fact that you didn't give up tremendous assets in any of your real blue-chip guys, and then throw in Salk, just what this, as you said, what this says to the team after, a losing road trip to the Angels and A's, which you didn't really want to do in the midst of all of this, to get on that plane yesterday, to have good vibes, get on that plane with you yesterday, and just like, hey, man, we're doing it. Like, we're going for this. And we don't have 100 games left to play. We don't have 80 games left to play. We got 50 games to go, right? And it's now like go time. And this team, and this organization, and this ownership group, and this management, and everything that they've done have put the ball now in our hands. I'm calling the set for you, a basketball term. Here we go. 52. Right, the 5 and the 2, little pick and roll. Here we go, 52. Here we go, 43. Yep, here we go. I'm calling your number. Now go in there and go get the job done. Right, if you're a player, if you're Cal Raleigh, if you're J.P. Crawford, who is in just one of these horrible stretches, if you're one of these guys, you have got to get on that plane last night. I can only imagine. Football was very different. Football, we traded for Bobby Ingram at the end of camp. I remember Bobby coming in. In football, you'd see some of those moves at the end of camp. You're like, dude, this is great. I'm just excited, right, to add this player, and this guy sure seems like a good dude. Well, they know Eugenio, most of that clubhouse, and they know exactly what they are getting.
Well, let me play cut 2 here, Lyle, if we have that. I'll give you a whole bunch of lead time this time. J.P. Crawford was asked specifically about what it means to bring this personality into the clubhouse.
Same guy every day. Doesn't matter if he's something or hot. He's the same guy, and he brings everyone together. He just has that natural, leadership mentality, and everyone hovers around him.
It's important. And by the way, you got a little of the red ass the other day with Josh Naylor. You get the exact opposite with Geno Suarez. I don't know anything word one about Caleb Ferguson other than just watching him last night on Root Sports and seeing him making people around him laugh in the dugout. That seems like a positive sign. I don't know much about, again, maybe he's a jerk, but he sure seemed to be making people laugh.
Most lefties are,
He seemed like a funny dude. Like, I just watching him with people out there and they're chuckling. Like, that seems like a real positive addition as well. Plus, he can play.
I've heard he's supposed to be a really nice dude, Caleb Ferguson.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it from my couch last night. I'm going to keep coming back to something I've said a few times, but I think it's important. Yesterday shows, and today could as well, why the Mariners rebuilt and why it's taken them this long. Because you couldn't have made these moves with the Robinson Cano teams. You couldn't do it. You did not have this kind of depth. In that world, the pre-2018 Cano, Cruz, Felix, etc., if you had traded Tyler Locklear, Jeter Martinez, and a couple of other young pitchers, they would have not all been outside your top 10.
Right.
Those guys would have been like your 3rd and 5th best prospects. You didn't have it. You didn't have the depth. You had not ever rebuilt, despite people saying, they rebuild every year. They never done it. And rebuilds can be a little messy. They can have ups and downs. You've got to get a whole bunch of things right. But and I might even
there could be market conditions out of your control.
Absolutely.
At times.
And I might even make you an argument that over the last couple of years, as people were frustrated by some of the moves or non-moves the Mariners have made, I don't know this, but maybe they were just looking at it saying, no, not quite there yet. No, patience is the shortcut. We're close. We're willing to deal. But we can't keep giving up prospect after prospect because we're just not there yet. And now with the last couple of draft classes that they had, the huge one with Colt Emerson and all those guys, finding Brian Wu, finding, Bryce Miller, drafting Cade Anderson, a couple other guys this year, seeing the development of Laz Montez and a few of the other guys from the international world. Like, now we're ready.
Yeah.
And now you can trade some of these dudes in order to bring back some rentals and some real people that can help.
Yeah, and we know in this DDT, this draft, develop, and trade, this trade component, as you said, 3 of the last 4 years now, you check that box, Salk. And the other one, and this is just kind of I think the word is tertiary benefit. is the opportunity now that this says to free agents. If this goes the right way, right? And then what it could say to Eugenio and Naylor, right, is they are going to be impending free agents at the end of this year if this goes the right way. Just, baseball is a funny game. Predicting it, good luck. But if it goes the right way and these guys add fuel and some impetus and you win the American League West and you chase down the Astros as you've added all of this and they are banged up, and the goodwill that you would think that creates in the market for veteran players as well.
Yeah, some text coming in. Hold on, though. They wouldn't have had to trade those guys for Geno if they didn't get cheap 2 years ago. Save it, Salk. You're right. I'm not. I've already told you that. No, I've already said that today.
SIS.
They blew it. They blew it a couple of years ago. I think today or yesterday writes that wrong.
Yep.
Good God, Mike, we get it. You want to rebuild Jerry's image. No, I don't. I just want to tell you the facts. When Jerry screws up, I'll tell you I think Jerry screwed up, like I did various times this offseason. And when Jerry gets it right, like he did over the last week, I'm going to say that as well. You can save it. I'm going to give you the facts the way I see them. Do some Blue 88.
Save it, Salk.
Let's do some Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
We take you to the field as Brock Heward breaks down 3 football questions as only he can.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
You guys don't get to be angry today. It's a good day. Good vibes only. Come on now. You don't get to be angry today. As we talk a little bit of football before Mike Macdonald joins us at 9:30 this morning, John Schneider speaking yesterday, Brock, and now he's inventing new scouting adjectives?
Yeah. These are a couple. I've heard we've heard juice before. Oh, man, this player's got some juice.
Right.
But he kind of threw juice with another letter and then another word with it when he was talking about a guy that we've talked a lot about. The G. Scott Sr., who'll be out here today. He's going to be hosting and emceeing some events. G. Scott was like, ooh, I like this dude. As my buddy Mario Bailey, said to me last year, ooh, I really like this dude. Well, John Schneider, cut number 13, talking about that same dude that a lot of people have noticed. But yes, a couple new adjectives.
I think A.J. Barner in his second year, I don't know if, Jay Harbaugh, was bragging about, I spent the year with him about his intensity and leadership and all that. And he was so respectful in the interview process. I don't know if I saw the juice and the leadership stuff.
Okay.
Other people did, I'm sure, but I didn't realize he was as juicy as he is and tough and, swaggy. And so I think that's really cool to see, his, I know we were just talking about, the tight end position, but, he's really stood out as a guy that you could see taking a step forward, as a leader in a second year, which, as you guys well know, is rare.
He's loud.
He is.
Barner.
Man.
He's loud. He's
Juicy,
a loud guy.
Tough, and swaggy.
Yeah.
When was the last tight end for these Seahawks that checked all 3 of those boxes?
Well, unfortunately, it might be Jeremy Stevens.
Yeah, juicy, tough, kind of swaggy.
I mean, had other issues that went with some of those things, but this has not been a group with a lot of any of that.
And, the biggest, let's be very clear, that was kind of also based, and they were asking him about the move with Noah Fant. And the biggest reason for that move was the risk of $9 million and him getting hurt and just not return on investment on that money. But right behind that was okay, if we move on from him, how do we feel? We feel great. We got a young stud, an amazing athlete. We've got just some hard-headed, blue-collar Oots and Russells that are going to put their face in the fan. And then this Barner, last year, we watched it before our eyes.
Yeah.
We watched him actually break tackles, Salk. We watched him hurdle guys. We watched him block. We watched him just kind of be like, yeah, man, I could play at this level, not just play, but play at a high level here with some of that juice, toughness, and swag.
That stuff really stands out when you contrast it to the guy who was the starting tight
And
end.
by the way, return on investment,
pretty good.
That's about $9 million, and as a 4th-round pick, yeah, about 1/9 of that.
Question number 2. Yesterday, Albert Breer in studio with us made an interesting comp, and I think we've heard him say this before, comparing Sam Darnold to Alex Smith when he went to Kansas City. You like the comp?
I do. I like it better than Geno. And as he said it, I'm like, you know what? We made that comp a bunch about Geno, and just kind of as a smart guy, an accurate guy, manage a game guy, get you to the playoff kind of guy, all the things that Alex was in Kansas City. Thinking about that, and I remember, Salk, in 2020, talking to Andy Reid about it, and I was doing the NFL games during COVID that year, and Andy's like, man, when we got Alex, he was really, really broken. And we tried to kind of build him back up by playing to his strengths. Breer said that about Sam when he went to San Francisco. He was broken. He was broken physically, he was broken mentally, and they kind of glued him, Shanahan and Kubiak, back together. And then, the product last year was pretty stinking awesome. So there, and oh, by the way, age-wise, when Alex went to San Francisco, he was 29. He played 8 years in the NFL. He was 38 and 36 with San Fran. Sam Darnold is 27, going to be 28, has played 7 years in the NFL, is 35 and 38.
There's something to the comp. I would also say, though, that to be fair, Alex Smith had brought that San Francisco team to the playoffs, played really well in the playoffs. I mean, he had really done a little bit more.
A little bit more, but he also had some real rough spots there.
Earlier. But at the end, he did some
Well, Sam was 15-2 and took his team to the playoffs. And unfortunately, and I'm sure they'd say the same thing in Kansas City, that Alex got them to a place, but was just not going to get them to the mountaintop.
That's fair. Question number 3. I know you went out to UW camp yesterday as well. You wanted to see a pro mentality. Did you see it?
Oh, I did. So.
Oh, good.
And, there's one thing.
Imagine my surprise.
There's one thing about Salk. Salk likes big butts, and likes big backs, and he cannot lie. Salk, as I walked down the stairs, if you've been right next to me, and you saw the 2 running backs, you saw Muhammad and Jonah Coleman, you would have been like, that's it. Unlike 20 years ago when we went to spring football, and you saw them throwing the ball in the stands on a windy day, fat guys, skinny arms. You're like, I'm out. I'm just out.
3-year-old Macy?
Yeah, Macy's running up and down the stairs, ADD Macy. Like, where's Macy? I don't know. She's climbing up the flagpole. Where's Macy? She's on the softball field. Where's Macy? I don't know. She jumped in the lake. You were like, I'm out. This is not a great product. You'd honestly have walked down the stairs. Jonah Coleman and Muhammad, they're 230 and 225 pounds. And when I talk about just like brick house, you do love big backs. Don't lie to me. You love big running backs. Yeah. And these are mooses. I mean, like, what? And they're moving. Yeah, there's still some spots. I tweeted out some observations. They're really long at corner, like 6'4" and 6'3". The 2 backs are unbelievably impressive. Damon looks like 20 pounds, like a totally different human being. Cool. They got some pieces there.
That might be more important than anything else you said. Like, if Damon Williams put on a little weight and was right.
He was about 100. When I saw him exactly 1 year ago as a freshman, throwing picks, scatterbrain, running around, like he's about 178 pounds. Great athlete. I'm like, just teeny. He's too small. And now he's 198 pounds. He looked kind of like Russell looked when he was a rookie. Like, woof, this dude is a dude. And poised and just under control. Yeah, like they felt like an 8-win team. Didn't feel like Michael Penix, didn't feel like Roma Dunes. They don't got those kind of dudes everywhere.
Right.
But this did not feel like a fringe bowl team. This felt like an 8-win Big Ten team that a couple more things fall the right way in the years ahead. They can make even more noise.
All right, there you go. That is today's Blue 88. A couple minutes of football.
I'm talking
what is
big legs.
I hear you.
Big
yes,
booties.
you
Can
are
I just
talking
say,
about that.
I'm glad you got to that because I can see your notes from here. And I just keep looking over and seeing you like big backs with a star next to it. And I was like, why would he?
Of course, he still said butts.
I don't know if I like you looking at my notes over here more.
I know.
This is like John Clayton's database.
kind of big.
Excuse me. Okay, this is some proprietary stuff.
Well, I'm glad you have your notes out. And once again, you guys have provided me the perfect transition to what we want to talk
That's
about
what we do,
next. So
Salk.
thank
Great
you. I
teammates, great
appreciate
teammates.
that. You like to doodle? You like to doodle a little bit because you get Geno Suarez, and it's easy to start having some fun and doodling with that lineup. It might not be the best lineup the Mariners have ever thrown out there. It might not score more runs than any lineup they've ever had. But there is one word to describe it that might be a superlative. That's next on Brock and Salk.
All together now.
Hey, Eugenio!
Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
On a roll.
They acquire now the best bat available in Eugenio Suarez. They've already acquired the other best bat.
Josh Naylor, yes indeed.
We are all over baseball's trade deadline.
I thought, like, oh my God, what if they actually do it? What if they add both Suarez and Naylor?
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
It is that time of year. I cannot wait for the weather to get warm like it is now on consecutive days. That means I can break the motorcycle out, ride to work, ride all over the place, and I love it more than just about anything. But I also know that it's not a matter of if, but when you get in an accident, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, when you're injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who live it. Law Tigers has been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They're here 24/7. 365 days a year because writers deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource writers can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers is out at all the events and supporting all clubs and shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
When your outside matches how you feel on the inside, that's kindness. And so I think that is the one thing that the Lee Johnson Auto family encourages us, is to be like really authentic and really be intentional in how we treat our customers and how we treat each other.
To have a good company, have a good culture, have a good crew that takes care of your customer base, you have to take care of your crew. You can't have miserable people and expect them to give a customer a good experience.
Walking in here, meeting some of the employees already before I was even hired on, welcoming me in, gave me a good indication what this company was all about. So if I were to make an hour and a half drive here and to have fun here for 8 to 9 hours a day versus if it's the other way around, then I'll take it.
It's not a script. It's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
It's the World Fighting Championships at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center, Saturday night, October 25th. Experience the thrill and excitement of high-energy mixed martial arts. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss this amazing professional mixed martial arts event, the World Fighting Championships, October 25th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
Summer is in full swing, and T-Mobile Park is the hottest spot in Seattle.
Randy Arozarena, his 4th home run in the last 3 games, and he is high-stepping all the way to 3rd.
Don't miss out on special events like the next Mariners Fireworks Night this Friday, presented by T-Mobile. Cal Raleigh and the crew are taking on the division rival Rangers at 7:10, and after the final out, we'll be lighting up the sky with an epic post-game show. Fireworks and Mariners baseball. That's 2 spectacular shows in one unforgettable night.
Holy smokes, what a firecracker! Off first deck, number 34 for the big number.
Go to Mariners.com to lock in your seats and check out what's on deck at the ballpark, including Aloha Shirt Day this Saturday at 1:10. Plus, be here for more can't-miss post-game events. The Mariners Drone Show is August 22nd, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. And the final fireworks night of the season is September 12th. Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to give you a minute.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Hello!
I don't know if this is the best Mariner lineup ever. I think that's probably a stretch, and until we actually see it in action and see what it does, I don't want to say that this morning. But it might be the deepest, and certainly the deepest they've had in quite some time. And I was just doodling last night. I mean, you're looking at a lineup, Brock, that as of right now, and we'll see what happens when Robles comes back, and maybe Dan will make some changes, but he's been loath to do that this year. So you're probably, tonight, going to see a lineup of JP hitting leadoff, then Julio and Cal hitting third, then probably Eugenio Suarez hitting cleanup, with Naylor right after him to go righty-lefty, and then Randy again back to a righty hitting sixth, Polanco hitting seventh. I mean, this is a guy that last year you brought in to hit behind Julio and hit third. He's having a better year, and he keeps dropping down in the lineup because you keep bringing in guys that are better hitters, and then probably Canzone 8, Raleigh maybe when he gets back, and Cole Young 9. Robles could change that at some point. You'll probably have some days where Geno DHs and Ben Williamson plays. I would imagine by tomorrow that, and I don't know this, but I would think Miles Masterboni is back up with the team as more of a utility guy. I don't know that Dylan Moore makes as much sense in this world unless you're only going to use him as a defensive guy. It's hard for me to see how Solano is still here. Like for me, after all of this, with the right-handed bat and Geno, and now you got Garver on the bench, I would assume this means that he's gone and that you bring Masterboni back for him.
Man, as you just laid that out, and I had looked at it.
It's a deep lineup.
It's funny hearing you say that. Yeah, number one, it's deep, it's threatening, it's many different adjectives.
By the way, you put Robles back in there, a healthy Robles at the top, and now you're hitting JP 8th or 9th along. I mean, that's a really, really strong lineup.
It is, and my mind goes back once again to this deadline and adding these two pieces without taking any of your blue chipper, Salk. And I hear just veteran through so much of that, right? Veteran, Julio Cal, still pretty young, but Cal's 28, veteran. Like that is a experienced, aged crew.
What's interesting about it, though, is only two of them, if I'm just doing quick math, there's only two guys there over the age of 30.
JP and Eugenio?
I'm sorry, 3. JP, Polanco, and Eugenio. Because Julio's, 24?
Cal's 28.
Naylor's 28, 29. Randy's right in that age range. He might be 30, but I don't think he is. I think he's 28, 29. Canzone, Raleigh, Young obviously is really young. I mean, it's a pretty good mix, to be honest with you, of veteran experience without being old.
Yep. Yeah, I am on, we're sitting here at the VMAC, and every time I'm down here, I do think about my life experience in NFL facilities. And I didn't get to experience this as a player. We were down at Northwest University, and that was a nice facility. This was being built, and obviously I think the boys came in here in 04 or 05, just after I was done. But I'm thinking to my Colts facility, Salk, and honestly, throughout that facility was no excuses, no explanations, execution, expectations. As I hear that lineup, that just continues to rumble through my. There's no excuses and no explanations now. All right, we're not in a marine layer. We're 50 games to go here. Sorry, that wasn't a shot at you, Lau. We're not in a cold, dormant building trying to get here early in the year. The weather has warmed up. It's been unbelievably beautiful. We know the park plays differently in August and September. No excuses, no explanations. I don't explain to me what else you need in this lineup. Don't explain to me that Julio needs more protection in this lineup. Don't explain to me that I need more veteran guys that have been there and done it in this lineup. There's no excuses. There's no explanations. Now you've got to do the job of going out and execute, and because the expectations have changed.
Yeah.
Now you got to go legitimately get to a place that you have never been before.
In this American League, that's a World Series lineup.
That's exactly right.
I mean, clear and simple. in this year's American League,
yes,
that is a World Series kind of lineup.
Lyle, how many teams, if you just put out the other contenders all in the playoff, if it's Boston and it's Texas and it's
American
Toronto,
League
and how many American League teams, if you stack that Mariners lineup against their lineup, would you sit there and go, yep, that line, I'm sorry, that lineup's better. That lineup's better. That lineup's better. That lineup's better.
It's not Houston, certainly not with all the injuries.
Is it the Yankees still?
Not with Aaron Judge.
Stanton,
maybe if everyone was healthy, yes. Maybe.
Goldschmidt, and probably the Yankees.
They're probably in the same range, but they're not all healthy.
Blue Jays is...
Yeah, I would say, I mean, you can argue for the Yankees and the Tigers, but definitively, if you want a definitive answer, there is no definitive answer.
That's right. You're in the same
right
at the very least,
you're right there.
in the same range as those teams. It's a better lineup than Texas has thrown out this year. That's for sure. I would argue it's a better lineup than Detroit has based on what we saw going through Detroit. Now, I know they were kind of down then. The Blue Jays and Yankees, I think it's a better lineup than the Red Sox have. Red Sox get to do it in Fenway Park. The Yankees get to do it in Yankee Stadium. But just, in terms of neutrality of the lineup, I think it's better than all those teams. I don't know if it's the Mets. I don't know if it's the Dodgers.
Right.
I don't know if it's the Phillies.
Right.
But right now, it doesn't have to be. And, oh, by the way, it's not supposed to be the strength of this team. And that is still the last part. Can this rotation get back to being what it's been? Because while we've talked about the offense and its ups and downs this year, they didn't score enough runs yesterday. But Brian Wu also gave up, 6 of them?
Nope.
That can't continue. You can't keep giving up as many runs as they have. You're banking. The whole reason you're in is because your pitching staff is great. And it's got to pitch that way here down the stretch. Now, do you continue to add? Yes. I think the Mariners do continue to add. As I said earlier, in for a penny, in for a pound. If you're going to go to McDonald's, you might as well get a Coke and not go diet. And I think that there's still opportunity to do that. You know the scene in Ocean's 11? You know Ocean's 11? Are you an Ocean's 11 guy?
Ocean's 11.
Do you think you need one more? Give me a little Ocean's 11. Give me some of that.
I know Ocean's 11.
You want it right now?
Yeah, right now.
All right,
right now.
You know what? You guys, that's not enough time to throw to it. So give me a second. I'll bring it up.
Look at, you know what that's called? That's called an explanation.
Yes, I like that.
It's a borderline excuse, but it really is an explanation right there.
No, I appreciate
it.
He
doesn't want the text toy coming
you would think saying right before the segment that, hey, I'm probably going to use it here would be enough, but maybe not.
No.
I get it. There's a lot of moving pieces today, obviously.
What you got, Lyle?
Do you think we need one more? Do you think we need one more?
Yeah, I think we do.
I think we need one more.
Spent a lot of time just for those 2 seconds.
And who's that on?
That would be me. I was just taking the responsibility, Lyle.
Yes.
Don't get uppity with me this morning. I don't need that kind of grief out of you.
I think we need one more.
I think you need one more.
I think we need one
more.
Well,
guess what? One of the one mores just went to the National League. You knew when Mason Miller didn't come in the 9th inning last night that he was probably on his way out of Sacramento, and he is. He goes to San Diego this morning, along with the starter, J.P. Sears. They go to the Padres. What the Padres give up, Lyle? I haven't seen it yet.
They gave up Leo DeVries, who's one of the top 5 prospects in baseball for Mason Miller. That's a haul they gave up for Mason
Sears, Miller. Right?
Yeah.
And starting pitcher, but wowzers.
Yeah.
DeVries' upside is pretty crazy. So I know Mason Miller's
so
really
Colt
good.
Emerson, they gave up their Colt Emerson.
Yeah.
Would you have done that?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
I would not have done
Not with
that.
what you've done, right?
No.
You've done these other things. They had not done
and
those
Mason
other
Miller
things.
still has 4 years of club control left or something like that. I mean, he's theirs now forever. So that does factor in. It's not Bednar is 1.5 or 2.5 years. I think that's got to be the focus now the rest of the day. If you think you need one more, and I do, just like Clooney did, just like Brad Pitt did, one of the many ways I'm similar to both of those guys.
Oh, yes.
Many, many, many ways.
Miller has 4.5 years of club control. Bednar's got 1.5, so.
Yeah, that's a major difference.
Yeah, you are, right, Maura?
Thank you for just skipping over that, Lyle.
He is
Lyle doesn't know who George Clooney or Brad Pitt are, so there's no reason for him to address that comment.
a lot of the folks on the text toy today have said, gosh, I love seeing you guys on camera now. I don't have to look at Salk's.
Yeah, don't you see Clooney when you look down here?
Well, yes, especially compared to the old camera that like, shot up from
Where's the camera? There it is. Is it over here? Yeah, hi, Clooney, right?
Yes.
You see Clooney, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Totally.
Very Clooney-like.
Need one more, Salk.
The closest thing I've got to Clooney is that we both married awesome women. That's about the extent of my George Clooney comp, and after that, I'm toast. But I think it's David Bednar. I don't think there are any other leverage relievers to really go after. I think they tried yesterday with Duran.
The guy we talked about in Tampa, Fairbanks?
Fairbanks, I don't know how good he is.
Okay.
Good pitcher. I'm not saying that's not a guy you couldn't acquire.
Okay.
I'm looking at the numbers. I don't know that I'm seeing leverage reliever anymore. I'm seeing middle relief, right? Kind of what you got already with Caleb Ferguson. I put him kind of in the same range.
Okay.
If you want, I don't think Cleveland's making another deal. I don't think Minnesota's going to deal Griffin Jacks or any of their other higher leverage guys after dealing Duran yesterday.
Well, you know what you still got, Salk? You still got powder.
You do. You still got Harry Ford.
Yep.
You still got a lot of people that you can still deal because you haven't had to give much up. Yep. I got a bunch of texts saying Griffin Jacks. I'd love him.
Yep.
Griffin Jacks would complete this thing.
Oof.
But I'd be very surprised. I'm not saying that the Mariners couldn't offer a good package, and probably have. I'm saying Minnesota's probably only trading one of him.
Well, deadline spur action. It's 7 hours away.
Yep.
7 hours.
Not
away.
even. 6 hours away.
Yeah.
Right?
6 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah. No, 7.
Minutes.
7. 7 hours.
Thank
away.
you. Just
7
trust
hours
me.
away. Yeah, 7. We're gonna go with 7. Let's go with 7. You think you need one more? Yeah, I think we need one more. Let's come back. We'll give you guys everything you need to know. Some of the details of this trade, what's going on with this Mariner team, and then at 9 o'clock, I guess it was a pretty cool scene when Geno Suarez got on the plane with his family last night. Shannon Drayer was there, and she'll tell us all about it at 9. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
All together now.
Hey, Eugenio!
Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
On a roll.
They acquire now the best bat available in Eugenio Suarez. They've already acquired the other best bat.
Josh Naylor, yes indeed.
We're all over baseball's trade deadline.
I thought, oh my God, what if they actually do it? What if they add both Suarez and Naylor?
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here. As I sit in this football facility and the training room's right around the corner, I do think about all the little bumps and bruises and sometimes a little bit more trauma that came to me playing professional sports. But you don't have to be a football player to know what I'm talking about. I know that many of you woke up this morning with painful joints from arthritis, tendonitis, bursitis, anything in that itis family, and it affects you. Makes it hard to do pretty much anything. Well, that is where my buddy, my friend, Dr. Daniel Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine in Kirkland, that's where he's ready for your phone call. 425-823-4000. 425-823-4000. He has seen so many patients suffering from chronic joint pain caused by arthritis, so don't let pain stop you from your quality of life. Consider Dr. Nelson the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques. Many have jumped aboard the regenerative medicine train, not Dr. Nelson. This has been his passion from day one, well over 3 decades ago. So give him a call, 425-823-4000, or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Bum here letting you know the Ford Summer Sales event is happening now at West Hills Ford, where you can get the 2024 F-150 Super Crew 4-wheel drive at $14,982 off MSRP on approved credit. West Hills Ford, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath. You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm, totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
The 2025 Seahawks season is almost here. Get fitted for game days with jerseys, caps, and tees, including the 2025 training camp collection. Visit the Seahawks Pro Shop at the Landing in Renton and Lumen Field or online at seahawks.com/pro shop.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on seattlesports.com.
Hey golf fans, Jordan Babineau here. Get ready for an unforgettable weekend at the 2025 Boeing Classic. Come see Masters champions and Hall of Fame golfers battle it out at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge, August 8th through the 10th. Bring the whole family and check out Seahawks Village, packed with fun for all ages. Plus, celebrate 20 years of the Boeing Classic, supporting the Benaroya Research Institute at Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. It's more than just golf. It's an experience you won't want to miss. August 8th through the 10th. Tickets start at just $20 and kids get in free. Visit BlowingClassic.com for more.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at PCF Construction. If you're seeking a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, maybe a new deck, patio cover, railings, well, my friends at PCF have you covered. This summer, well, you can enjoy 12 months of no interest and no payments. And how about this? Plus 50% off a design and architectural drawing package or up to $5,000 off an undercover system. If you're looking at your outside and saying, golly, what a beautiful summer in the Pacific Northwest, and we can't take advantage of it, well, take advantage of these offers today. If you've been wanting that new deck, that new patio cover, make the call. Get online right now and connect with my friends at PCF. You can find all the offer details. You can get project ideas, and you can browse photos at pcfgroup.com or call today at 425-629-8476. Don't let this offer pass you by. It's 425-629-8476.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
This morning for the return of a favorite, not just a fan favorite, but a clubhouse favorite, a management favorite, and everybody favorite. Eugenio Suarez, by the way, the deal made official just a few moments ago as the press release went out, so obviously the physical and everything went well. It was done last night, though, and Geno was on the plane home with the Mariners. Pretty cool. They get ahead of the deadline, and they bring back the good vibes, Brock. Everyone's happy, including in the clubhouse, and that matters. It's not just what he does for them on the field. It's the belief shown in them by the front office. J.P. Crawford, Cut One, spoke to that last night.
Yeah, it's nice. Any acquisitions are good, and especially having great people, added to the team as well. Outside of baseball, it's really good to have Geno back. He had everyone together, off the field, and I think that's why that year that he was brought over here, we went so far, is because of things outside of baseball. So really thrilled to have him back.
Such a weird spot.
That and the 35 home runs.
Such a weird spot for some of these baseball guys that just play every day and go through the ups and the downs and the ups and the downs. JP is in the midst of like 2 for 39, a 2 for 39er. Right? And then he's got to be asked about that yesterday. And you can hear it there in his voice. Personally frustrated, But for our team, this is the kind of fuel in the tank we absolutely needed.
Yeah, it was also the second deal they made yesterday. They get lefty reliever Caleb Ferguson from the Pirates in exchange for young righty Jeter Martinez. Glad to get a Jeter out of this organization, thank God. Ferguson, another rental player. So that's 3 rentals they've acquired in Naylor, Suarez, and Ferguson, who's having a good year as a middle reliever in Pittsburgh. He's good. He's a lefty who doesn't strike out a ton of guys. He's much better against lefties, but he's not bad against righties. And he doesn't give up home runs. Right? Yeah, a lot of weak contacts, more of a ground ball, come in for a double play.
Baseball Savant would tell you, Salk, he's given up, I believe, the second least hard hit, like velocity, like off the bat. Not bad. And they needed another lefty. I'm sorry.
They've needed another lefty for like 3 years.
I mean, the Astros come in and they're beat up and everything. The Astros have like 4 nasty lefties in their bullpen. And we know that league-wide it's been harder to hit lefties. That's not just been a Mariner thing. So I kind of like adding a little bit of that sauce.
And they can still do more. If you want to go try to get Bednar, that would obviously be pretty helpful. Another big-time reliever out of Pittsburgh. And they've got the dry powder if they want to do it. Joan Duran, of course, yesterday goes to the Phillies. And then earlier this morning, Jeff Passan reporting the Padres have acquired Mason Miller and J.P. Sears from the A's.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Unfortunately, the offense that Geno's supposed to help has kind of gone in the tank. Since the All-Star break, in the wins, the 6 wins, they've scored 4.7 runs per game. But in the 7 losses, they're at just 13 runs total, so under 2 per game. And when I first started doing this stat last night was before they kind of clawed their way back into it. Yeah. I thought we were going to be talking about like 10 runs in 7 games. So, yeah, a little issue with the offense. Cut 8. Dan Wilson did talk through that. They're just not quite getting it done.
I thought we had some good ABs. You look at some of the balls that were hit hard tonight, and just nothing to show for them, and that's frustrating when you're in a situation like we are right now, where we're having a little bit of a harder time scoring runs, and so it gets a little bit more magnified. But guys have continued to swing the bat. We showed a lot of life coming back late and jumping back in this game, and getting to their bullpen a little bit. So I felt like it was, even though it was a tough way to lose the ball game tonight, a lot of good stuff at the end of the ball game, and some momentum going into tomorrow.
Yeah, it's funny. I did not feel that way the last couple nights.
No.
I have felt that way at times.
Yes. And I appreciate Dan, and he's just going to continue to do that, and he'll take the arrows. And
maybe we feel differently if Canzone's ball gets out rather than Butler making a nice play at the wall, and they come back. Like, maybe we feel differently, but I did not. I saw a lot of rollovers, a lot of iffy at bats.
Yep. What Eugenio walking into right now is kind of the boom or bust that he left. That's what this feels like in some of those stretches with he and Teoscar and everything. I mean, they're hitting home runs. They're top 10 in the league in home runs, and a couple more home runs last night. They're just doing nothing else.
Take some walks to go with those, and to me, that's where the having better at bats leads to some of that. Yep. And Geno will take his walks too. Let's be clear, he is a 3 true outcome guy. This makes the Mariners a good team. Buster Olney yesterday asked about the American League teams, and pretty high on the Mariners' chances. Cut 9.
At the moment, but let's say they get a high-end reliever. Look, if they get Aaron Judge back and he's functional, they could absolutely find their way through. The Blue Jays have this lineup of guys who put the ball in play. The Red Sox with Garrett Crochet. The Tigers on the days that Tarek Skubal pitches, they're the best team in baseball. The Rangers, 10 days ago, I was talking to Bruce Bochy, their manager, and he, growled to me, I think we're in this thing. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, right, Boch. And they reel off like 8 wins in 9 games. It has been a league of just dramatic swings this year because there are no great teams. So if I'm sitting here today and you tell me to pick a team, I'd say the Seattle Mariners because I think their starting pitching is coming together.
That's a nice way to end that long streak there. Unfortunately, yesterday, Astros win, Red Sox win, Rangers win, so didn't go well for those Mariners. We'll get back to it tonight against the Rangers, George Kirby and Kumar Rocker.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
By now, John Schneider gets his extension yesterday, a 4-year deal. Spoke to Wyman and Bob afterwards, cut 10. He talked about getting the deal and really happy that Jody Allen believed in him.
Very grateful for Jody and the trust that she's put in myself and Coach Mike, and excited to keep rocking this thing.
not the biggest news, though, with the Seahawks. Did you see what I saw this morning? So we parked. So I just want to take people inside. That's everything you need to know. I'll take people inside here. Take you guys.
Please do, Mr. Clooney.
Let's take you guys inside the ropes.
Please
that's
do.
that's
Please
everything
do.
you need to know.
Please do, Brad.
So there's not a lot of parking over here at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center.
Have you noticed a little construction on
Well, there's a
405?
little construction on 405, and there's staging areas, and you've got all of the players here in camp.
Sure.
So much so that like all the rookies have dedicated spots out with the plebes, like with us.
The media,
right? I mean, it's kind of embarrassing for Jalen Milroe and these guys. I got like these terrible parking
next
spots.
to Henderson.
My God, they're practically parked out in they're practically in Newcastle. Anyway. Moore and I had some issues. We figured out parking finally this morning, and there's sort of like a little excess lot for us in the media.
Yeah.
Most people have to park like at Renton Landing and stuff, and then you take a shuttle over. Anyway, there are like, 5 spots maybe reserved for the media? Did you notice the 5 spots reserved for the media?
Like outside the gates?
No,
or
inside the gates.
I did. I noticed the names.
Did you notice which one had by far the best spot closest to the door? Is Brady Henderson the most powerful, most well-respected, longest tenured member of the media?
I mean, did I see a little color to his, too?
I thought Condota might have been like a little. I mean, Condota's been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
Little surprising. Maybe Brady's performance in the 40-yard dash and some of the other leaping events a few years ago bumped him up the charts.
Sure.
A little surprised to see Brady get the number
Park
1 spot.
Place. I think it was him and Dugar that were Park Place, and what's the other one?
Boardwalk?
Yeah,
Boardwalk's number 1.
I mean, he is the hitman.
He is the hitman.
Yep.
I mean, really more in Denver than here. I don't know. Kudos to Brady.
Maybe he knows where a lot of the bodies are buried.
Maybe he's got something on someone. Yeah, like, hey, you don't want that reported. You give me the best space.
I'll ask him about it later.
Or you should do that.
Yep,
I'm
for
sure.
sure.
I'm sure he won't be embarrassed at
not
all.
at all.
Mariners make their big move yesterday. We got a good, long, extended opportunity to talk about it next before Shannon at 9 o'clock and Mike Macdonald at 9:30. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
All together now.
Hey, Eugenio!
Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
On a roll.
They acquire now the best bat available in Eugenio Suarez. They've already acquired the other best bat.
Josh Naylor, yes, indeed.
We are all over baseball's trade deadline.
I thought, like, oh my God, what if they actually do it? What if they add both Suarez and Naylor?
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Man, look at that return of the old king, man. Oh, wow. Emotional.
King of the Hill is back.
They got a Bob's in the airport now. Oh, that's Boba.
World has changed, Dad.
Bobby wants to bring that new girl over for dinner.
The Vegas? What the hell am I supposed to feed her?
Can't we just put some grass in a bowl?
From Mike Judge and Greg Daniels.
Ready to make some memories, Dad?
Let's freaking go.
A Hulu original series, King of the Hill. Season premiere August 4th, streaming on Hulu.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time. The next time you're out to dinner with friends, you can order the shrimp cocktail for the table. And maybe you'll realize it only comes with 4 shrimp after you've already given away 3, but that one shrimp will be so good. And if you switch and save hundreds, you could get shrimp all the time. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shrimp. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
You still have 40 million plus vehicles globally that are driving around with a potential ticking time bomb, a grenade in either their steering wheel or their dashboard. When we look to what injuries may have transpired from a defective airbag, we generally see loss of vision in an eye, or we see facial lacerations. We also see hearing loss. Unfortunately, we started seeing death after death after death. When that passenger airbag exploded, it basically degloved his entire face. He lost his nose, he lost his right eye. The type of catastrophic injuries that one is more accustomed to seeing in a Hollywood movie, and not something from a device in an automobile that's supposed to protect you. Morgan & Morgan has a national reach in terms of handling and prosecuting cases. Notwithstanding the team of lawyers that we have collected that focus only on product liability day in and day out.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
If you didn't think skipping breakfast was a big deal, you'd be right. Before. But now, Wendy's has Buck Biscuits. We're talking sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or even the Honey Buddy Chicken Biscuit for just $1 each. Seriously, you can get all 3 if you want. They're just $1, so you'll never skip breakfast again. If you're smart. Breakfast for $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction. Not valid in a combo while supplies last.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on SeattleSports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. Are they a reliable service? How will I know if something happens? Are they keeping everyone safe? At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today to talk to a local security expert.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, Viagra is not the answer for your problem. I know you think it is, but Viagra has horrible side effects, and for most men, the longer you're on it, the less it works. Viagra is not a curative medication. It's not fixing your problem. It's a Band-Aid for a shark bite. Acoustic wave therapy is the newest technology that can correct your problem, not just treat it. We can do something that no pill can do. We can restore your blood flow naturally. Get off Viagra today. Change your life like the thousands of men who already have, regardless of your age or your medical history. If you're tired of dealing with Peyronie's disease or erectile dysfunction, then call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
It's time for your summer road trip service at Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton. Before you hit the road, stop by and get your vehicle road trip ready with their incredible service departments, no appointment necessary. Now through July 31st, you can receive $100 off when purchasing 4 eligible tires. Whether you're in the north or the south, their expert technicians have you covered. Visit Toyota of Renton and Toyota of Kirkland today for your summer road trip service and drive into adventure with confidence. Offers valid through July 31st, 2025. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, Brock, it's a good day here in Mariner World in Seattle as Eugenio Suarez is officially back with the Mariners after a year and a half in purgatory in the desert. He's through wandering, and he is back. Never should have let him go in the first place. But give him credit. This rights a wrong. That was a wrong. That was a wrong.
Yep.
They got that one wrong. And I think if Jerry or Justin were here, I think they would say exactly that. Yeah, we got it wrong. Mm-hmm. We blew it. Mm-hmm. We screwed that up. Mm-hmm. Maybe we could have kept one of Geno and Teoscar. We couldn't really keep both, but we should have kept one.
Yep.
And the fact is, they kind of gave Geno away for nothing. They were dumping the salary, which is understandable and works if you then go and spend the money on a player who's
and that became
younger
who, Mitch Garver?
It became really Garver and Urias.
Yeah. Not great either.
I mean,
yep.
It really adds, fuel to that fire.
Yep.
It is bad.
Yep.
So you swallow it. And look, it almost worked out that they got Geno back last year when he was struggling, and Arizona.
And by the way, we
came
heard
about
that
a week away from
both
cutting
sides.
him.
We heard that from the Diamondbacks folks
Yep.
and the Diamondbacks people that it was really that close to like, this is just untenable. He was that bad.
And I heard it in the offseason this year that if the guy, I forget the name of the guy they ended up bringing up, the young prospect, but essentially if he hadn't gotten hurt while on rehab in the minors, Geno was probably gone.
Yep.
But the guy gets hurt. Geno goes on a tear during his little extended purgatory, and the rest is history. He goes on to have one of the best 365 days of anybody in the major
You realize
league.
he's tied with Cal Raleigh right now, atop the league leaders in RBIs.
Yeah.
You have number 1 and number 2 now in all of baseball when it comes to an important stat you talked about with Randy and some of the others this year.
Have driving runs.
Just get guys in. Get
Yeah.
guys in.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to drive in runs.
That's right.
That's kind of the game.
That's kind of the game.
When you play in
old
the
school
middle of the
stat. I
line.
know, Lyle. Old school stat. RBI. There's actually an old school video game called RBI Baseball, made well before you were born, Lyle. I know, old school stat, but still fairly relevant today.
Yeah, it doesn't tell the whole story. It's not the best way to judge, whether to acquire a player or not. But you got to drive in runs.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to hit 3rd, 4th, 5th in the middle of some of these orders, you got to pick up the pieces that are out there. And that's what those runners in scoring position stats are all about. So, I mean, you've now righted that wrong. You bring Geno back. It stinks that you had to give stuff up for him now. But honestly, are you really bothered by what they gave up in order to get back Geno Suarez?
No, not at all. And to the point where it's almost like, it just kind of, there's certain deals that you do and maybe certain values you get. And, oh, man, I remember when I started dating Molly, Salk, this was decades ago. This is almost 30 years ago. I went to Nordstrom Rack and I bought these sandals. And I was all excited about it. And immediately she's like, you paid what? And I was like, I don't know what they were, $7.
Right.
There's a reason they were $7.
Yeah.
Came back and she's like, there's a reason those were in that kind of aisle.
Well, there's a reason why Geno Suarez only cost this.
That's exactly
You
right.
only get him for 2 months.
That's right.
I mean, that is the extent of it.
Yep.
If you were acquiring him this past off season, he would have been worth more. If he had a year and a half left on his deal, he'd be worth more. Like, this is pretty simple. Mason Miller, the all-star tremendous closer from the A's, got traded this morning to the Padres along with J.P. Sears for one of the best prospects in baseball. Why? Because he's got 4.5 years
Because
of club
control is such a premium in the sport right
Yes.
now. And this is not just for the Seattle Mariners when it comes to their budgets. They are not the team and the outlier. They are not the Cleveland Browns, the Arizona Cardinals. They're not. Their peers in the industry, 25 of the 30, Salk, are very price conscious, budget conscious. I said to you last week, Rangers kind of scare me, man. Their numbers, their run prevention, their run score, their pitching, it's pitching. We know down the stretch, it's pitching. These guys kind of scare me a little bit. Well, and they've had ownership in the past that is spent.
Right.
And it's spent big. And the report this morning is what? They may be shedding some payroll, looking to make some moves to add, because they're now tied with the Mariners for the last wild card. They're looking to add, but just at this exact same time, they're looking to shed payroll.
Mm-hmm.
So for the Mariners to do this, to use this acquisition phase, again, we're sitting here, we're going to talk to Mike Macdonald an hour from now. Can't wait for that. And I just can't help it when I'm in these buildings, think about just the way this game works, Salk, in the acquisition phase, right? And here is the draft, and here is first wave, and here is second wave, and here is third wave. And then you come around the corner at training camp, and there's the Jadeveon Clowneys and the veterans that are out there. And then there's the trade for guys at the end of trade. Like, there's all these acquisition phases. I'm sorry, and this isn't just tooting the Mariners' horn and the ownership and Jerry and Justin, but what they have done in this acquisition phase, 3 of the last 4 years, is the best in baseball.
They've had the best deadline in 3 of the last 4 years. Said it earlier, said it a second time, I'll say it a third. When they got Luis Castillo, that was the best deadline in baseball. When they got Randy Arozarena and what did Jerry say, and friends last year, that was the best deadline in baseball, and it's continuing to pay dividends
and when it comes
this year.
To impact.
Yeah, they got it this year.
Yes.
You got the RBI leader and one of the home run leaders in baseball, the best bat available in Geno Suarez, and Josh Naylor, who was the other best bat available.
Best right-handed bat, best left-handed bat.
I mean, like, I don't know how much more you want. Other than, do you think you need one more? Sure. Yeah, it'd be really nice to go ahead and now add another leverage arm to the back of this bullpen and just continue to say, hey, look, the American League stinks.
Mm-hmm.
we've got as good a shot as anybody to win this American League, so an opportunity now to go take it. I saw 2 tweets this morning from Bob Nightingale that jumped out to me.
Oh, Bobby.
1, the Houston Astros are now bracing themselves to be without third baseman Isaac Paredes for at least 6 to 7 months with his torn hamstring. Yeah, hamstring's hurt.
What?
News.
What?
Breaking news. Hamstring's hurt. The hope is he can be ready by opening day 26. Don't touch me. Tweet number 2. The Texas Rangers, who were under financial constraints, are hoping to clear a bit of payroll today to bring in help for their bullpen. They're tied with the Mariners for the 3rd and final wildcard spot.
Yep. That's your division.
It's not just that it's your division. It's interesting. The Astros are, they're trying to hold that thing together with baling wire.
And let's give them credit, bro. They're 4 or 5 games up on you.
They
have done this with some
nothing.
of your cast-offs?
They've done it with nothing.
Some of your cast-offs?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and it's a credit to them, but that's not a very good team. Like, I'm still waiting for that other shoe to drop, and it felt like it was starting to drop the other day until they pulled themselves out of the free fall.
Yep.
The Rangers being under financial constraints, where just a couple of years ago, spend, and Corey Seager and Simeon and this and that, and it worked. They won the World Series. But you're starting to pay for the after effects of that because in this day and age, it's not as easy to maximize the revenue streams there. And as we've talked about, kind of a post-RSN world, and they just built a new stadium. Now they're shedding payroll 2 years after winning a World Series. That's a little something to take note of. So if they need to get better, and they're tied with you today, they need to shed payroll to add a reliever?
You think Bochy goes in there and says, sell my size 10.5-inch hat?
I think he does.
It is a relic.
But does that not stand out to you?
Sure.
If they want to, I'm not even to add an impact. To add a reliever, they would need to shed payroll. Like, yeah, that jumps out to me quite a bit.
So is that Garcia? Like, who?
I don't know what that means.
So
I don't know.
In order to shed payroll, right, you've got to, what is it, pay Peter, pay Paul?
You got to rob Peter to pay Paul.
That's exactly right.
You should know about those guys.
You should.
They're your guys.
I know.
Those are your guys.
They rob Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah.
So who are they robbing from their lineup to save payroll?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know the answer to that.
Well,
yet.
we may know in 6 hours.
That's right.
In 20 minutes.
As we creep closer and closer to that 3 o'clock deadline today. But I think that's worth noting. And that puts you in a better position. The story of the little red hen?
The little red hen.
You know the story of the red hen? It's different from the story of Chicken Little. The sky's always falling for Chicken Little. This is different. The red hen is always she's cooking for next year, and she asks everybody for help. Right?
Are you familiar with the little red hen?
Will you help me grind up the stone? Will you help me grind up the wheat?
Okay.
Will you help me cook this? Will you help me knead the dough? And everybody's too busy, and I'm busy doing this, and I'm busy doing that, and I can't help with you right now, and I'm doing this. And then she bakes this beautiful, bread and this and that. And then as the season goes on, everybody wants a piece of that, and she's like, no. Where were you when I needed you?
Right.
And there's a patience element to it, and there's a hard work element to it. And the Mariners took their lumps and took their hits this offseason. We were all critical of them, and I think rightly so at the time, for a lot of moves that didn't get made. But they certainly held back the ability, both financially and even more importantly, asset-wise in the organization, prospect-wise, to be able to strike now. And would it have been better if they did it then? Maybe. Maybe they should have done all this in the offseason. Maybe they should have. But Geno Suarez wasn't available in the offseason. The Diamondbacks were contending. Josh Naylor went to Arizona from Cleveland in a trade, and the Mariners tried to get him. But Cleveland didn't like their package as much as they liked Arizona's. Okay, well, you get him now. I think the same thing went down yesterday with Juan Duran, and then it does kind of lead to this next, okay, how do you add that one last piece to kind of push you over? I don't want to be the more guy, but if there's an opportunity, and I know the Mariners want to add more, you still haven't given up some of the prospects in your organization that I think you can. Specifically Harry Ford, who I have said over and over again is blocked and would have been shocked if he was on this roster tomorrow. But he's still here.
Lyle,
and you're running out of options of guys to trade him for.
Lyle, do the Pirates, and this is a deep dive, the Pirates have a catching situation? I mean, we saw the Pirates. It didn't feel like they had one.
They've got Joey Bart at catcher, right?
Well, Henry Davis is their starter, but they have both of them. Yeah, and so it's funny. They have a number 1 pick and a number 2 pick that are sitting behind the plate for him, but neither have really lived up to the hype. I mean, there's a reason Joey Bart's not in San Francisco anymore, but down the pipeline, man, I'm looking at their guys. I mean, their best catching prospect, at least per MLB Pipeline's ranked 20th. So you never know.
Yeah, you never know. It does feel like some of these American League teams, as you kind of rattled through that, and that was, right, in the offseason when we're not sending them to the Mariners, we'll send them to the National League. And we're not sending Durant to the Mariners, we'll send them to the National League. That does come into play, I would think, a little bit with some of these teams as well. It sure feels like, in the name that you've mentioned, I don't know, Salk, 6,212,000 times, Griffin Jax.
Yeah, I think that's dead. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going to happen today, and I would be shocked if the Mariners weren't continuing to call the Twins and saying, "Hey," and there's a relationship there. Those teams have made deals together before.
So, is there a part of you? Is there a part of you that?
Let me just finish your question first. Yeah. And says, I think the Twins are going to say, "We've already traded Duran. That's it." Okay. The store is closed. We only had room to deal one of our leverage arms. We didn't make it this year, and we want to sell. But they're not a bad team with a bad roster that needs to blow it up and completely start from scratch. Okay. They got 2 really good prospects, high-level prospects from Philadelphia, 2 guys in the top 100, guys in the 50s and a guy in the 90s. And we're not blowing it up. Yeah. We're just kind of rejiggering how this thing works. And so
we're not the White Sox. We're not the A's. Right. We're not just the
If you were
Nationals.
The Twins, would you trade Jax now?
Probably not.
I would not.
Probably not. But that comes to the point where I bet some are saying, and maybe you said this even earlier, in for a penny, in for a pound, we'll go for it now.
Then it's Bednar.
Then it's Bednar.
Then it's Bednar. I mean, like, if you're just looking around at who's available and what leverage arms are there, Pete Fairbanks is good, not great. He's sort of more in that same range as the guy you got yesterday in Ferguson. Good. I'm not going to be mad if you get Pete Fairbanks. But he's not in that same category as a few of the other guys that are truly high-level, high-leverage arms.
You know what's funny is we sit here today and super celebratory of everything they've done. Super excited about Geno coming in and the pieces coming in, and now Naylor and Suarez and a reliever, maybe a fourth. We talked about adding 3 guys at the deadline. They've added 3 guys. Now it's a little cherry on top. As we're doing this, I am so reminded, and there should be some flowers, and I know the season isn't over, but the job that Ben Williamson and Logan Evans, those 2 in particular, did this year to this point, to get this team to this point. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I mean, it was Polanco at third base. I mean, that was some of the outrage. Poor Lyle. Remember when his head popped off and we had to put his head back on?
For good reason.
Yes.
That was untenable.
That's right.
That was a bad idea.
What? We're Polanco at third. We watched him out there at spring training. He couldn't throw to third base. His body, he just banged up again.
Yep.
And the fact that Ben Williamson could come in as a Band-Aid for 100 games and do what he did
and by the way,
stabilize
I don't think Ben Williamson's going anywhere.
Didn't have to now.
I think Ben Williamson's on this roster the rest of the year. I would be shocked if they sent him down. If it's me, I mean, obviously Locklear was on the roster. He leaves. Maybe something changes when Luke Raley and or Robles come back.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if I'm...
This has got to be Solano and Dylan.
I would think the 2 guys who... Yeah, and I think you bring up Mastroboni and or Rivas as well because of their ability to play all over the place. So... I don't think Williamson's going anywhere between his defensive replacement value late in games.
But you're not here, honestly. I don't know if you could be here to make these moves.
Yeah, I agree with you.
To be in this kind of position.
Yeah.
If he didn't do what he's done is becoming one of the best defensive third basemen and then just enough. I mean, he wasn't he was enough. Not a power, but he's enough.
But you want to upgrade it.
You do.
Like, if you have the opportunity to upgrade, and it's a gigantic upgrade in terms of offensive value.
Yes, an impact.
But
and on the other side, I don't know if, honestly, these 60-something innings that Logan Evans has given you, he and Emerson, because Emerson gave you a little run there. Those guys deserve, and the whole frustration of the acquisition phase in the offseason, and how is this possibly going to work? How are they going to put together a lineup? How are you going to count on X, Y, and Z? How it's second base, and then Bliss gets hurt, and then Robles gets hurt, and oh my gosh, the wheels could have come off of this thing. You could have been like the Twins. You could have been like the Diamondbacks. You could have been like a bunch of these teams that are sellers, and there are some young dudes that stepped in the middle of this.
Well, that's why I'm going to come back then. You're right, and that's why I'll come back and make the same point for a third time today. You couldn't have done this a few years ago. This is why you rebuilt. to get to this point where your farm system was deep enough that you can bring up Ben Williamson when you need to, that you can bring up Cole Young when you need to, that you can bring up Canzone when you need to, that you can bring up Logan Evans and Emerson Hancock when you need to, that you've got relievers that you've been able to cycle through over the course of the year when other guys have been ineffective or gotten hurt. Ultimately, that you can trade Tyler Locklear and not really feel it too much in terms of your prospect value. That you can trade, 4 or 5 other pitchers who are not bad. I mean, by the way, Ashton Izzy, and Brandon Garcia, and maybe even Jeter Martinez. Those guys aren't bad. Burgos, look, those guys are not bad.
They had to be good enough to make these deals
That's
happen.
right. But why are they, none of them in your top 10 prospect rankings? Because you've got better guys. Because you've drafted and developed so well that you've got better guys, and you now feel so good about Scott Hunter, and especially your pitching development, Scott Hunter, the amateur scouting director, that you feel like you can afford to trade away some of that pitching because the random dude you just got from Miami with lousy numbers in college might be the next Brian Wu.
Yeah, because if you're these other fan bases and organizations, like I may not know the name, but there is some street cred to a Seattle Mariner. Yes, someone coming into us from that organization. So this is
why you rebuild.
Yeah.
This is why I was adamant about the rebuild 5 years ago or whatever it was, 7 years ago, I guess it was now. It takes a while. It takes longer than you want it to. And a few years into it, when you made the playoffs the last time, your farm system was starting to help. You had enough to trade for Luis Castillo, but you couldn't keep adding much after that, not without sacrificing the future. The next year, they screwed that year up a little bit. But also, you still weren't at this point where your farm system was ready. By last year, when you go and make the Randy Arozarena trade, and now this year where, honestly, you could do whatever you want at this deadline because everything is open to you, and all the while you've used your farm system for depth when injuries happen and when ineffectiveness happens, the unexpected. This is why you do that. Like, I don't know. That's just baseball.
The bags are packed. The gas tank is full. Right, the cooler is full of sandwiches and drink. Let's go now. Let's go on this ride. Right, let's go on this ride and let's pay off like all of this time and all of this patience and all of this work and all of these moves. I think of Jeff Passan a couple days ago with us talking about the job that this organization has done from a risk tolerance standpoint, a process standpoint. There are a lot of organizations and fan bases envious, believe it or not, Mariners fans, envious of what this thing is built and the stability of it.
I think this morning the Yankees are envious. They got Ryan McMahon while you got Geno Suarez.
And they got him for 2 more years at like 16.
Gross, right? I mean, Philly's not jealous this morning. They went out and they had they have a really good farm system as well, and Dombrowski lives to destroy his farm system in order. That's what he does.
Yeah.
He burns the bridge. That is Dombrowski's reputation. You don't want to follow Dave Dombrowski as the next GM of a team because he will pick it clean in order to win, which is fine. It's helped him win a bunch of championships. I'm not knocking him. But he was willing to give up everything to go get Duran. And while the Mariners made a pretty good bid on it, what are you going to do? Minnesota likes their package better. Okay. It does put a little more pressure on you, though, to try to go get that one more leverage arm that we know they want. Jerry said it out loud in public. It's not going to be Mason Miller. He goes to the Padres. It's not going to be Duran. He goes to the Phillies. I don't think it's going to be Griffin Jacks. I don't think Minnesota's going to make another big deal. I don't think Pete Fairbanks quite qualifies as being one of those guys. Not that I wouldn't want to have him. He's just not in that same category. And there's some other guys who are good, not great, who would help, but not in that same way. I mean, maybe after all of that, San Diego turns around and trades Suarez, but why would they?
Right.
Like, if you're going to give up the top 5 prospect in baseball to get a closer, why would you give up another guy in your pen? Like, you're going for it. You think you're in it. I mean, San Francisco doesn't really seem to have anyone quite like that. I mean, maybe there's a guy.
You know what? I'm just so thankful.
It's Bednar. That's the guy.
Maura, you're feeling what I'm feeling, right? I'm so thankful that the same
toasty in here.
Well, it's toasting here, but I'm so thankful that the juice and just the blood and the emotion that comes to this guy in draft time And in the early days, long before you were born, and Lyle.
I wish you weren't here today. I wish there was nobody else here and I could just talk.
Oh, just go.
I would be insufferable, but I would be very happy.
I am so thankful that Major League Baseball, I am so thankful that the Mariners, it's like a fountain.
Why are you here? Could you leave so I could just talk about the trade deadline?
It's like a fountain of youth, Salk. It's like you jumped into the fountain and all of a sudden, baseball is what baseball's supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to trade for rentals. You're supposed to have teams that ante up and put it in or put it out. This is the way the game is supposed to be.
And for 10 years leading up to that rebuild, the Mariners couldn't do this. What could they get at the deadline? Austin Jackson? Right? I mean, like, you get Austin Jackson because you don't have the capital and the prospects to get good players.
You're at the big boy poker table.
Yes, you are.
Don't forget Chris Denorfia.
Yeah, they traded for Chris Denorfia at a deadline to help them win. Think about that.
Sure.
That doesn't help you win. This is a very, very different vibe. The vibes are good. Geno Suarez is a big part of it. And apparently, the vibes were very good when he got on the team plane last night. You know who was there?
Someone else on the plane?
Intrepid Mariner insider Shannon Drayer was there in person. And she'll tell us the story next.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach Macdonald sitting down with us right now.
This thing on
and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
If it's game day or any day, Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are your MVPs for trucks and SUVs. Experience the power of choice with the Tundra at 1.99% APR for 72 months. The Tacoma leasing at $299 a month. The all-electric BZ4X with 0% APR and the RAV4 leasing at just $319 a month. Find that all-star lineup at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com. Offers valid through August 4th, 2025. Excludes taxes, license, and negotiable $200 dealer documentation fee. See dealership for details.
Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hey, it's Dave Wyman, and before you make that decision, see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Why? Because he gives it to you straight. Dr. Wagner said my right knee needs replacement, and I appreciate his honesty and expertise. My left knee is fine right now, but the minute it isn't, I'm heading to Dr. Wagner for his expert opinion. I want to avoid another surgery, and I've heard so many patients rave about results from their 90-minute outpatient stem cell procedure with Dr. Wagner. He's a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience and has performed more than 20,000 stem cell procedures using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy without pain and without surgery. Whether it's a shoulder, hip, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Heritage Mechanical and Auto Repair reminds parents the fatal crash rate for teens peaks at age 19, and we lose nearly 8 kids every day. Make a family agreement to never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs, text behind the wheel, or ride with anyone who is. Always designate a sober driver, call a parent or rideshare, and let's bring all our kids home safely. Best wishes to the class of 2025 from the entire team at Heritage Mechanical and Auto Repair. The family-owned General Plumbing experts in Suquamish, proudly serving our community since 1998.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
It's fine.
Give me a freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take Bill by the hand.
And Brooke Heward. And Brooke Heward.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
We moved locations, Brock.
Oh, like your people, Salk.
Huh?
To the promised land.
To the promised land. Here we are. Yes, we are outside now at the VMAC, Virginia Mason Athletic Center. And we'll talk to Mike Macdonald coming up in 30 minutes at 9:30 as they have an early practice. Fans are already out on the berm. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful day out here, which is very cool. And then actually later today, I get to go over to Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel and see the new hotel. Oh, wow. I know, part of a very special group.
Oh, you're just touring?
I'm just touring, just taking a look.
You're not stopping it.
You know, you never know if the tables call and
sure.
what's going to happen. But yeah, I get to do that after practice today too. In the meantime, last night was a very, very cool evening for Mariner fans as they acquire Geno Suarez, old friend. Everybody knows him. Everybody loves him. Shannon Drayer was there. She's on the team plane. She gets a chance to see what goes down. Shannon, how great, how happy was everybody last night?
You know, it was one of the neatest moments I have seen on the plane in my years in traveling with them. It was one of those, it could have been a tough flight. They lost a ball game. They had the night game before another game at home the next day, and they're deep in the 17th straight. When we got to the airport, we went through security, we got on the plane, and we were sitting for a little while. And it turns out that they were holding the plane for Geno and his family. And they didn't tell the players that that's what they were doing. So after about a half an hour, all of a sudden it got a little bit loud at the front of the plane. Geno got on the plane, and you could hear the cheering. And then this was just the neatest thing, and it's so Geno Suarez. He proceeded to walk the entire length of the plane and hugged every person on it. Wow. It was, when he got to Perry Hill, you could hear up front Perry just yell an emotional, "Stop it!" You know, which is what he yells when he sees the good play on the field. It was just the neatest moment to see him get on the plane. Spoke very briefly with him, and he just said, "I am so happy."
It's got to be kind of a crazy feeling too, right, Shannon? This is just hours after a tough loss and a series loss and, a road trip that wasn't in any way disastrous, but you don't find a way to quite win that road trip. So and they're in the midst of 13 games in 13 days. So just 17. To kind of have, could the timing of that kind of jolt of joy and vibes been any better?
No, it couldn't have been. And, when we talked to Cal Raleigh in the clubhouse, and it was an odd situation because they're in the minor league park, it wasn't a situation where they could go back into the clubhouse and turn on the TV and watch the scroll and see what was going down in trades. No, they were absolutely, cut off from everything in that dugout in Sacramento. So Cal said they didn't find out until they got back to the clubhouse after the game had ended and people started checking their social media accounts. That's how they found out. And Cal, you could tell, he had just that little smile when he was talking to us. And this is, this pumps them up. They lost the game, but this gave them, I think, what makes them believe in that clubhouse, every man, we've got what we need to make this run right now. And you heard just kind of a different kind of confidence when Cal in particular was talking about it. He said, hey, I felt good about the moves they already made. I feel good about the guys we have in here, but this is Geno. And there was a lot of talk about both what he could do on the field and in the lineup, but also the person he was and what he can bring in regard to the vibes and kind of calming people down if there are just situations where it gets tough in a playoff run. He is somebody that can kind of dictate the feel, the vibe in a clubhouse, in the dugout, on the field. And that is something that they are looking forward to having. And I think something you need when you make that push. They've got a lot of good guys in the clubhouse, a lot of guys that can do good things like that. But it's clear they view Geno as being a different kind of leader in that regard.
Now, Shannon, this may surprise you, but I have offended some people in my life. Not always, but it's happened once or twice where I've said things that other people don't like. And occasionally, Brock, I've regretted it and needed to apologize, say I was wrong, and try to right the wrong. I see this a little bit analogous to that. They screwed up a couple of years ago. They shouldn't have traded Eugenio Suarez and then kind of used the money the wrong. Like, they messed up. And it hurt them in the clubhouse. It hurt everywhere. It hurt the fans. It hurt everybody. And now here you are a year and a half later and in a big pennant race. They right that wrong, and they bring him back. And I wonder if that can have an even bigger effect on, like a magnifying effect by saying, hey, look, we get it. We messed that one up. We're going to right that wrong. We're going to bring back the right guy and now give you guys every opportunity to try to go win this thing in the last few months of the season.
You hope it does, and you look at the moves that they have made now. You look at, it's surprising that they haven't had to give up any of their big prospects right now. And to me, you have those prospects. You should be giving them up. There is plenty you can still do with what you have to improve this group. When you look at the lineup, I think they need another right-handed hitter. I think they get very left-handed, particularly at the bottom of the lineup, and when you flip it back over the top. I think they'll look great against righties. Lefties, a little concerned about that. With Luke Raley out, you could actually add an outfielder right now, and that's not something that we've ever talked about. So, the fact that they were willing and they stayed in Geno until the end and didn't have to give up too much for him. You hope that right now they're exploring not just the reliever, but if there is something else that they can do that is going to help this right now. And it feels silly to be asking for more at this point, but no, it doesn't, because it is all right in front of them right now, and they just made the big move. And I think that signifies, they want it. But this was a when we were talking a month ago, what would be ideal? Both Naylor and Suarez. And you were thinking, good luck, like that's really going to happen. And it's happened. So to see them in this mode right now, and again, knowing that there are things you can do that you can subtract from that farm system, and you're going to be fine. You're going to be just fine because you've built it up to that.
What did you say earlier, Salk? You're going to take a leap, which, again, is a misspoke. Like, you can't leap. You can barely hop at this stage of the game. But you made a leap, and Daniel Kramer cut up with Cal, it looks like, Shannon, after the game. And Cal had talked about, hey, this is what we talked about in the spring. We being management, ownership, everything else, as he signed his extension. What kind of goodwill, beyond the emotion on the plane yesterday, and that moment is as amazing as it was, as you painted it beautifully, beyond that, what about just the goodwill to the Cal Raleighs, to the Julios, to the JPs, the goodwill that this shows between an arm, between Naylor, between now Eugenio, and maybe even more, that also cultivates with the guys.
It's huge. I mean, this is what they want to see at the deadline. They want to know that, the management are doing their part to help. They're doing what they can do on the field, and they want to know that they are getting the support from above as well. It's what you want every trade deadline if you have got a shot. And this is something that's noticed. Everybody, it's kind of like the home run derby. Everybody was talking about Cal Raleigh at that time and the Mariners. And now, in the trade season, they've made the biggest splash. And people will talk about it. It will be noticed. And that was a very serious thing with Cal. It was a big part of the meetings that were taking place down in spring training. We were down there doing our shows and doing all of our work. Cal was up there saying, I want to know about this. I want to know about this. I want to know about this. Show me what you're going to do. If I'm going to commit, if this is going to be my home for, both in the city and in that clubhouse, I want the chance to win. And so, that's exactly what that does, Brock.
And good on Cal for understanding after he did it publicly a few years ago, which was great for the fans, but maybe doesn't move the needle internally, to figure out how to do it privately and quietly and behind the scenes and lobbying more than using the media. I think it's growth. It's growth on his part. It shows his leadership. And I think one of the many reasons why everyone is so enamored.
Show me the money.
Shannon, 1 minute left, and then we got to run, and we got Mike Macdonald coming up here, and we're really thankful. I know you got into bed super late because I was texting with you as I was waking up this early in the morning, and you were not even in bed yet. So we appreciate you jumping on a big day, a trade deadline day. If you have to add one more or even two more names today, I know you said you'd like to see them continue to go out there, who would be the first or second person on your list?
I would still be working on Minnesota and both Griffin Jacks and Willie Castro. I would want that flexibility. I would want that right-handed bat. Again, it's not easy to make out the lineups right now. I think you can add to it. The substitutions aren't perfect right now, and another leverage arm or near leverage arm in that bullpen could go a long way.
Well, I love it. Shannon, thank you. Really appreciate it. I don't know if Minnesota's going to deal another reliever. They already dealt one of the big ones, but I'm with you. I would keep making that call, and I'd be on the phone with Pittsburgh as well, talking about Bednar, who's probably the other real good leverage arm left. Shannon, hopefully you get a few more hours of sleep. Be at the ballpark today, and the trade deadline is at 3 o'clock. We appreciate it. Thanks, Shannon.
You got it, guys.
There you go. That's a cool story, huh?
For sure.
Geno hugging every single person?
For sure.
Not a surprise, but awesome.
And it's awesome. And Naylor's a different personality and brings a different
You don't think he hugged everybody?
Kind of a different tension. Fist pump.
Don't touch me, bro. Don't touch me, bro.
It's kind of like the difference of Salk and Brock. I mean, it's why it works, right?
You say that, but I'm cuddly. When I like a good hug.
Oh, when you're warm.
I know, all the time. I like a good hug. I'm a good hugger.
That's true.
I like a good hug.
That's true.
Obviously, so does Geno.
Just don't touch me, bro.
Pretty cool to hear all that from behind the scenes last night. That's our Mariners Insider, Shannon Drayer. We are at Seahawks practice, which is getting ready to start here in just a couple of minutes. And so we'll come back. We'll give you guys everything you need to know, and then Coach Mike Macdonald will join us as well. It's trade deadline day. We're keeping an eye on everything going down, and we'll tell you what's already happened next on Brock and Salk.
All together now.
Hey, Eugenio!
Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
On a roll.
They acquire now the best bat available in Eugenio Suarez. They've already acquired the other best bat.
Josh Naylor, yes indeed.
We're all over baseball's trade deadline.
I thought, oh my God, what if they actually do it? What if they add both Suarez and Naylor?
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Bump here, letting you know West Hills Ford, the Big Four store, is celebrating the Ford Summer Sales event with incredible offers, like the 2024 Ford F-150 Super Crew 4-wheel drive, available now through August 1st with $14,982 off MSRP for qualified buyers. West Hills Ford, the Big Four store, just off the Auto Center Way exit, Highway 3, Bremerton, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Hazelwood has it!
The Davis Law Group Charity Golf Tournament heads to the Prospector Course in Suncadia on August 20th.
Proceeds benefit Life Support I-90, funding life-saving training and equipment for the first responders on call every day, covering the thousands of travelers heading over the I-90 corridor east of Snoqualmie Pass through Cle Elum and the surrounding areas. Tee times and sponsor packages are limited, so sign up today at dlggolf.com. That's dlggolf.com, because the life you save could be your own.
Oh, it is the time of the season for pests. That's right. No one likes them. No one knows where they come from, but we can all agree no one wants them in their house. Mike Salk here for Crawl Pros, and they have a full-service pest control division now called Pest Pros. They can come to your house and do a full corner-to-corner inspection, take care of any problems, just like they did at my home. This is the time of the year you'll start seeing more ants in and around your home. You may also begin hearing a little buzzing outdoors. Bees, wasps, hornets. If they make a nest on your property, that is a huge nuisance. So please don't try to take care of those nests on your own. Simply call Pest Pros to have any nest removed and destroyed professionally before the problem grows or you and your guest ends up getting stung. Pest Pros is the full-service pest control division of Crawl Pros with eco-friendly treatments to keep ants, stinging insects, and all sorts of critters from making their way into your home. If you're worried about rodents, ants, or other bugs or an issue in and around your home, call Pest Pros or visit gopestpros.com to schedule a free inspection at gopestpros.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Head to T-Mobile Park August 5th through 10th as the Mariners celebrate Ichiro's induction into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. The festivities will be packed with must-have collectible giveaways, like an exclusive Funko Pop, 2004 jersey, and a replica of his Cooperstown plaque, plus his number retirement ceremony and more. It's going to be legendary.
And there it is. He's the new all-time hit king in Major League history, number 258.
Get your tickets at mariners.com/Ichiro.
A couple years ago, I was in the bathroom at the airport when I dropped my smartphone in the toilet. Not smart. I was multitasking when I should have been focused on the job at hand. Embarrassing, but I'm not alone. According to Google, 7 million other multitaskers accidentally dropped their phones into the bowl last year. A gentle reminder that right now you can get yourself a brand new Samsung Galaxy A36 absolutely free with a $35 plan from Pure Talk. The A36 comes with scratch-resistant Gorilla Glass and a battery that'll last all day, along with unlimited talk, text, and data on America's most dependable 5G network. In other words, it's tough and smart. Something to think about next time you're multitasking in the necessary. Just dial pound 250, say keyword Mike Rowe to get your free phone today. You can make the switch in just 10 minutes. That's pound 250. Say Mike Rowe to switch to a no-nonsense smartphone and a company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Hey, golf fans, Jordan Babineau here. Get ready for an unforgettable weekend at the 2025 Boeing Classic. Come see Masters champions and Hall of Fame golfers battle it out at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge, August 8th through the 10th. Bring the whole family and check out Seahawks Village, packed with fun for all ages. Plus, celebrate 20 years of the Boeing Classic, supporting the Benaroya Research Institute at Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. It's more than just golf. It's an experience you won't want to miss. August 8th through the 10th. Tickets start at just $20 and kids get in free. Visit BlowingClassic.com for more.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Yeah, by now you know, everybody knows, Eugenio Suarez is officially back with the Seattle Mariners. They get ahead of the deadline by a day, and they bring the good vibes back to Seattle. He was on the plane with them last night. Shannon Drayer saying he hugged every single member, everyone who was on the team. Pretty awesome, and they didn't give up a whole heck of a lot to get him. Tyler Locklear, a couple of young pitchers who are really relievers in all likelihood at best. The Mariners have had an excellent trade deadline season once again with Josh Naylor. Yesterday they had a lefty, Caleb Ferguson from the Pirates. Didn't give up a lot there either. Yeah. And then, of course, the big one in Geno Suarez.
Yeah, I don't know how many times this has happened, Salk, where you really know what you're getting. You know, and Josh Naylor, we're all learning. It's cool. And even the team and teammates are learning what he's about. And, 5 games in, looks like he's everything is advertised. He's a great bat, professional bat, good first base, actually steals bases too. But with Eugenio, this is one of those things. Like, nobody washes the car like the owner because you know that car. Well, in this case, Eugenio Suarez. That's why he and his family were there, surprising him, hugging on him, loving him, sharing that moment, and hopefully sharing a bunch of home runs here over the next 50 games as well.
Well, the national media is impressed, not surprisingly. I mean, this is the move. This was the best bat available that the Yankees and the Tigers and the Astros and the Rangers and the Cubs and everyone and their mother wanted to get. Jeff Passan excited for the Mariners to be the one to get him.
The Mariners, remember, just a week ago went and got Josh Naylor from the Diamondbacks. And you think, get the two of them at the same time. No, the Diamondbacks were looking for a market to materialize, and a fervent market never did materialize for them. The Chicago Cubs were in it, the Detroit Tigers were in it. There were a few other clubs, but in the end, the Mariners gave them what they wanted, which was Major League ready players in Tyler Locklear.
And Burgos, Major League ready as well. He's been up with the team this year. Locklear's good. I was chuckling last night when I saw Nightingale referring to him as prized prospect Tyler Locklear. I don't think he's prized. I think he's Major League ready, and he might be a decent player, but prized? I don't know. This is a good thing. Mark DeRosa also last night, Brock, talking about what the Mariners are doing here.
It was time for the Mariners to step up. I just heard it in my ear. Here they come. Got a chance to make the postseason. Not only that, if you dive in now, we've been saying they're a bat away for the last 10 years. Right. They've added 2, and they've added 2 really good ones.
Yes.
This lineup gets super deep now.
It can change the temperature in the clubhouse.
Absolutely. Eugenio Suarez and Josh Naylor walk in the room, you're going for it. Period.
I wonder, as we hear more tidbits over the days and week ahead, I wonder if there were other deals, and they actually went to Eugenio. Like if there was level deals. That would surprise you?
Yeah, that surprised me.
Okay.
That would surprise me.
Never mind.
Not impossible.
Why are you even here today,
But
why are you even here
today? I think Arizona's going to try to maximize and get the best out of it, and if that's what it was, then that's who they're going to send it to. I don't see that being the case.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
All right, so where's the offense been? Hopefully this is going to jumpstart it. It was not a good road trip for them. They go 3-4 on the trip. Since the break, 4.7 runs per game in the 6 wins, but just 13 total runs in the 7 losses, so they're under 2 runs per game. Brian Wu, not great last night. Good, not great. 3 home runs really did him in, and the bats just continue to just kind of waiting for them to take off again.
Yeah, and it's been some clutch hitting. It's been runners in scoring position. Last night, just 2 opportunities all game long. And the challenge, Salk, is what's coming, right? You know that there is better pitching coming than what the A's threw at you the last 3 days and the Angels. And you know that. And to struggle against some of these lesser arms, again, why you made these kind of moves, right? Objectively looking at it, knowing this team, if it's going to win this American League, needs a little bit more. This road trip, especially offensively, expressed that.
Well, unfortunately, in addition to the loss last night, Astros win, Red Sox, Rangers both win as well. So they drop a game to each of those three. It makes the deficit 5 in the West, and it puts them in a tie with Texas now for that third wildcard spot behind Boston. Huge homestand starts tonight. I would imagine Geno Suarez is going to get a heck of an ovation when he is first introduced to the crowd. Rangers tonight, George Kirby and Kumar Rocker, and then it's White Sox and Rays to finish up the homestand.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
John Schneider going to be here for a while as we sit, Brock, at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center. John Schneider signs a 4-year extension to stick around here in Seattle through, 2030? And he's going to be here for a long time. That'll be 20 years he's been with this club. Yeah, it is. That's some longevity. I mean, that's like legendary kind of numbers.
Yeah, he's there with Jerry Jones, Mickey Loomis down in New Orleans, and Tobin out there in Cincinnati. That's it to have this kind of longevity.
Maybe Tobin's there because they forget they have a GM.
Vince Tobin. Is it Vince?
I don't know. No idea.
Merle? He's been there a long time.
Poor guy. Tough job.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You know what else that speaks to, Salk, is John Schneider is the headliner with that. But what that means, again, to the alignment, to the stability, to your capologist, to your team president, to your training staff, to all of the other people, right, that know John and have known him for decades around here, gives them equally that same kind of stability, alignment, and certainly something we can ask Coach Macdonald about here in just a couple minutes.
All right, pretty cool. That is everything you need to know this morning. Obviously, the big news, Eugenio Suarez, and I'm with Shannon. I do think there's still moves to be made today. I won't say shocked because you just don't know what other teams are going to do, but I'd be surprised if the Mariners don't make one more move. I know they want to continue to add to that bullpen. I don't know how many leverage arms are left, but I know they want to add to it. And if you can't get Bednar and the Twins aren't going to make a deal for another major reliever, maybe it's Pete Fairbanks. Maybe you're looking at a lower leverage guy to at least kind of just raise the level in that bullpen. I'd love to see, and this is not a shot, but I'd love to see something that takes Casey Legamina off the team. Like, I'd like to just go up by one.
That feels like a shot.
It's just that right now he's the weakest member. Quite frankly, I would have sent him down instead of Kowar yesterday. But just continue to raise the floor at least of the bullpen.
And all it's doing is elevating expectations too, man, in a great way. Yeah. Let's go for it.
Pretty cool. All right. The expectations from the national media have not been great for these Seahawks, and yet I think when we talk to Mike Macdonald next, we're going to hear quite a bit of confidence in the direction his team and his roster is going. The coach sits down with us before practice. Coming up next on Brock and Salk.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach Macdonald sitting down with us right now.
This thing on?
On and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Summertime and the living is free. It is a beautiful summer day here by the shores of Lake Washington, and you know how busy summer can be with the vacations and the camps and the driving the kids around, and it's busy. Man, I'm driving all over the creation today, but you're not so busy that you can't start something important, that diet, that workout plan. It's Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Don't make excuses. Let Eastside Weight Loss Clinic make it easy for you so you're not adding to your busy life, you're subtracting a ton of weight. I did it, lost 35 pounds, ran into Ryan Roland Smith last weekend. He's down 30. Listeners, we heard from one, down 42 pounds. Guys, you can do this, and you can do it right now this summer. I had more energy, was not hungry while I was doing the program, all the while losing a ton of weight and eating delicious food that you buy at the grocery store. That's why Dr. Coogan has had success with over 4,000 local people here to deliver those results. Be the next. Schedule your 15 minutes with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed. which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a month and bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Are you in pain? This is Dave Wyman, and if you're experiencing pain in your shoulder, elbow, wrist, hip, or knee, do what my friend and co-host Bob Stelton did and go see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
It's been a huge game changer. After 13 years of jiu-jitsu, I had a lot of issues with my hip. It was bad, so I'd heard a ton of patients raving about the results from their 90-minute outpatient stem cell procedure with Dr. Wagner, so I had to check it out. Dr. Wagner is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. Now, people with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back to doing what they enjoy doing without pain and without surgery.
Whether it's a hip like Bob had, a shoulder, a knee, a wrist, an ankle, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Seattle Sports is giving you a shot at winning 4 tickets to see the Seattle Seahawks host the Kansas City Chiefs on August 15th. Just open the Seattle Sports app, tap the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter. You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances. Enter daily from July 30th through August 4th. Full details and rules at seattlesports.com/win. From the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app. The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, the reason we've been down here all morning, Brock, at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center is to talk to the head coach himself, Mike Macdonald. And we've come outside. Practice is about to begin, and the coach is here. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. 10 a.m. practice today. Beautiful day. I see you guys in person.
I know.
I remember this 1 year ago. Our setup was kind of different. Do you like our new director chairs?
Honestly, didn't notice a difference. Last year was a complete blur.
I bet.
Last year we had a picnic table. You were off to the side a little bit, but now we get to look at you. We got
to get a little sign right here.
Yeah.
Definitely a better setup than our studio inside.
Yeah, you like this. Well, we could do this during the regular season, except it's cold as hell out here.
That'd be all right.
You'd be okay being out there? Maybe we'll think about doing that a little bit. What is your favorite part of camp? What do you like about
Tommy destroys
training
something
camp?
here.
Yeah. What's up with whose dog is this?
It's mine.
Oh, it's your dog. Oh, that's your dog.
That's Tommy.
All right, we got
Come here,
it.
buddy.
What's up, Tommy? That's a nice looking fella.
It turns out, right now I can get away with him being out. So.
This might be your favorite part of camp. You get to bring your dog with you.
It's Steph just brought him. Jack's upstairs in my office with Steph, so
cool.
It's great.
What do you like? What do you like about having training camp?
Camp's like my favorite part of the year. It's all ball. It's just working on your team. You're with your guys all the time. It gets a little, you get a little tired of going against your own team. Probably here in about a week or so, so like getting into the Vegas game and kind of getting into like the operation of games are nice. But I mean, there's competition. It's tough. You're with the team all the time. You're allowed 11 hours a day with these guys and or 10 hours a day, whatever it is right now. But it's great. And you're forging your team. You're kind of seeing where you're going and answering questions and figuring out new questions and solving problems. And it's a lot of fun.
Do you remember your first one? Not as a coach, but like your first NFL training camp?
Yeah, 2014.
What was it like?
Just like this the whole time. I mean, back then, like the vets didn't show up till minicamp. So like we did the whole. That was it was still the same offseason program that we have now. And so I remember like minicamp, all of a sudden like all the vets showed up. The Halodinatos, Terrell Suggs, all those guys like oh okay, like the team's here now. And that was only a couple days, and so really hadn't had like exposure with those guys. And then just to see them, see like how pros played football was. You're like, holy crap. I do remember, like, I would be like we'd be doing walkthroughs and we needed extra bodies, to kind of like fit in. So I'd be playing like nickel in like a walkthrough. And I remember thinking like, this is the fastest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like having respect for what these guys do when it's full speed. Like, really
what was your role in 2014? Your very first training camp? What position?
I was an intern. I was a QC, and I was like the fifth guy in the DB room. But I mainly just like helped out. Steve Spagnuolo was the DB coach, so helped him out and just tried to figure everything else out in the building, try to carve out a role.
If you were to compare and contrast a year ago when we sat here with you, your messaging to the team in that training camp last year, in the group versus your messaging this year, 1 year later, banking all the experience you have as a head coach, how would you compare and contrast those two?
Man, we talked about this yesterday in the team meeting. It's way more focused. I mean, we've done a lot of work. We're working with Mike Gervais and Steve Hauschka. They're working with our team, and they're working with me a ton. I'm doing a lot of work with those guys. Trying to figure out, hey, look, we had a lot of great ideas last year. It's the same principles, a lot of the same, phrases and things like that, but trying to hone it in, make it more focused, make it a little more potent. Make sure that it's exactly what we're trying to get done for our football team, and then how you present it. All those things are really important, and getting everybody in the building on the same page too. I think once we kind of got in our little football silo last year, we could have probably done a better job of bringing the whole building kind of try to create what we're doing. So now throughout the off season, spending time with those folks, you just feel the alignment more so right now. And I feel like hopefully the guys feel like it's made a difference and that I'm doing a better job. So
is that kind of fun? Kind of the CEO element of the job? Not that you're the CEO of the whole Seahawks, but that sort of role of like, hey, you get the job because of your football knowledge. But once you get here, you got to really show off that leadership and inclusion and communication skills.
Well, yeah, and I think I'm in a little bit of if you go hire a CEO to run a big company, like they're probably coming from another company as a CEO and bringing that experience. I'm kind of the new guy trying to figure it out too, and it's like we have a clear vision of what we're trying to create, but I'm learning as well. I'm getting coached. I'm getting coached in every team meeting and getting feedback consistently. So I think hopefully they feel that I'm right there with them on this spirit of like improvement, chasing edges, and all that stuff. That I'm right there with the guys doing it as well.
You mentioned a couple of those names. Is that coaching for you? Can you explain kind of what kind of feedback you're getting?
Yeah, so we tape it and we get a summary of it and get criticized and areas of improvement and what you did well. And,
the kicker?
Yeah, Hausch, man.
I didn't know that was happening. Did you?
No.
I didn't know Hauschka was here doing that. That's kind of cool.
I mean, they're not here. He's at his house, but they kind of come
Tremendous
back and forth,
ping pong
and they
player.
work with folks in the building and work with me.
That's cool. So it's almost like watching film on yourself and in your role as a leader and a communicator.
Right now, I don't have the guts to watch it, so I do like the transcript of it.
Growth mindset, right?
Yeah,
I mean, to some of you said to us last year, it was really funny. It was really poignant, and it stuck with me. And you said it was along the lines of the messaging, and you said, "Well, ask them," as in ask the team. You know what some of the messaging is. And Mike, we've talked to a lot of the guys every day. We get a chance to talk to them here at camp, and I've said this to Salk. Man, every guy is thoughtful. Every guy is talked about transparency and vulnerability. And I was like, vulnerability? In training camp in 2014 and training camp in 1999 in Cheney, you know what word was never talked about? Oh, let's be vulnerable with one another. But that sure feels like something that's real here.
It's interesting. That really hasn't been part of like our language.
Right.
That's not our core principles. Vulnerability, that doesn't scream world champion to me. Like, correct. But being real and having integrity about what you do and being intentional about how we operate. And I think, you know, I'm the Pied Piper here, but it's like, 12 is like we are in it together. You know, I happen to be the guy that's responsible that shows up on tape, but, you know, I'm in it as well. You know, it's not just shouting orders. And so hopefully it sounds like it's getting across. And that's, again, that's part of the fun part about camp is, you know, in the spring we're begging him to come in. Please come to the off-season program. We beg you. We need to be tight. We need to be connected. And we had an awesome off-season program, but now it's like, we got you. Like, we're here and let's go.
Well, it's interesting because, you know, you hear coaches, and every organization will say this, collegiately, high school, professionally, like, I mean, we want guys that love ball. We want guys that like, but to me, that's the baseline. Like, if you don't love ball, then don't play.
Yeah.
But the next thing is you better, like, love to talk ball. You better love to live ball. You better be thoughtful. And, like, if we're going to deepen this thing, I'd have to imagine that's where some of the secret sauce is.
Well, yeah, you know, I wouldn't say unfortunately, but part of the nature of the business is there's a lot at stake. And, you know, there's opportunities to be paid a ton of money and take care of your family. And
sure,
that is a why for a lot of guys. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but when that is your only why, about the process becomes a lot harder. And so when we say you love football, you're right, Brock. It's about all the things that go into the process. And when you have guys that are bought into that and love it, it's fun. There's less drag.
Yep.
You know, you feel like you can go further, and you know, I think we're experiencing that here.
Almost the irony of the guys who don't feel like they need to get paid to play the game are the guys you want to pay the most, because they're the ones who are going to help your program the most.
Yeah, that's right.
So your other hat, defense coordinator hat, how much more advanced, complicated, how much farther along is this defense today than it was a year ago today?
That's a tough answer. It's we're standing on such a better foundation, and it's the players, but it's also our staff about how we operate. I mean, again, last year everything was new, you know, and I was the only person that's been in this system. You know, Josh Bynes has been a tremendous help, you know, playing with us, but other than Josh, that was really the only other guy. So having that year of a foundation is great. I don't think we're at the point right now where like we would accelerate install or we go like crazy fancy. I think we're still thinking, you know, to me it's, hey, we're in secondary training camp. We're kind of wrapping up the install phase to get kind of the bones of our defense in. And then I think, you know, by design towards the end of this, you know, Friday, Saturday, early next week, I think we're going to start to, you know, throw some sauce on some things and kind of mix and match, and let's get a better feel for some, you know, how this thing's going to end up, you know, the direction it's going. So that's really the thought right now.
Second day of camp in pads, it looks like today. A little bit of a walkthrough yesterday. Yeah. How many padded days do you get this month, and how critical are these ones when the gear's fully on?
So I think you're allowed to have 15. I think we have 9 scheduled. So, but this is actually, I believe this is the 3rd. So we were on Monday, Tuesday. We were in ACT yesterday.
Gotcha.
Pads today, shells tomorrow, and pads Saturday. So this is a big week. I mean, a physical week. This is the third day that these guys, fourth day in a row have been going, third day with pads. And so this is a gigantic practice for us.
Yeah. What have you seen from your quarterbacks so far at training camp?
I think they've taken a significant jump from the spring. Starting with Sam, I mean, he's playing really decisive, confident, accurate. I think the command of what we're trying to achieve is on its way. I think Sam would probably echo that sentiment. Drew had a great spring, and I think he's having a really good camp so far. And we've talked about Jalen, at length, but really, really happy with his progress. He's right where he needs to be right now. Just keep on plugging away, keep competing, keep finding those incremental gains that you can see from day to day. And eventually we'll look back and we'll say, man, look how much you've grown,
What have you learned about Sam along the way since kind of getting to meet him and watching him become a leader here for this team? What have you learned about him that you didn't know before?
I think it kind of confirms what we thought about him. I think you have a great feel for like the relationships he has with the offense, the offensive line, his receivers. I think those guys they're learning him. I think that's probably the biggest difference is their relationship. You can feel has really grown from the spring. That's just a function of time. But it's also, it's a shout out to him and the effort that he's put forth. To get together, the throwing sessions in the summer, the hangouts at night during camp, all those things. I mean, all those things is really important.
It was fun yesterday. Mike Macdonald here with us. We had Bert Breer in for a good 45 minutes, and Bert's been around the league for decades. And as he was talking about your life experience in Baltimore, right, and all the impact that John had on you, and those defensive players you mentioned, and even a Kyle Hamilton to compare to a Nicky Manwari, and all these little pieces. He said, it's really interesting in Baltimore with Gary Kubiak and how much John loved Gary. And that relationship, and obviously the head coaching job opened in Denver, but Gary loved being there. The relationship seemed awesome. And it was just that run you could feel, right? It was just, that was really some of the foundational piece of what John has built there now forever.
Yeah, that's right.
You feel, and I know it's only a week and it's only fourth day in pads and you can do as much as you want OTAs, but are you starting to feel that run presence that you really wanted to bring in?
Yeah, it's funny listening to you, Brock. I remember this is talking about the 14 training camp. Gary got, he's got his own awesome style about how he operates, but I remember he didn't get up. He was just sitting in the back row, and we're talking about what kind of offense we're going to be, and he just kind of, in his text, he goes, hey guys, look, we're going to run the damn ball. Okay, and so it was just, and it was an organization. I think they were, that was the first year. I think they struggled running the ball the year before, and I think there was just this collective sigh of relief and like vote of confidence. Say, look, we're committed to it. We're going to make it happen. Shout out to Justin Forsett, was our lead back that year, and he had a tremendous year. But you can feel it with the guys. I think you can see the confidence of the offensive line, how they just like attack the details, and it's just this unrelenting focus. You don't feel like there's pushback. There's no drag on the offensive side of the ball right now. I think we have a lot of young, hungry guys that are driven to prove themselves.
One of the things Breer was talking about yesterday, he kind of said it in passing, but was talking about playing games on your terms, or even sometimes just seeing what terms each game dictates. Is that one of the things you can do when you start to be able to run the ball, is play the game on your terms, the style of game you want to play rather than what the opponent wants?
Not necessarily sure what that means. I mean, what that means exactly. I think we want to play a way that's reflective of our football team and our city, and like what we take pride in here about being tough and unrelenting and playing fast and running off the ball and making plays for each other and then celebrating, and having some stuff to us when it happens, and celebrate when your teammate makes plays. And I think what this offense does is it takes pressure off the offensive line. You're kind of taking the fight to the defense consistently, which feels good. I mean, Clint and I were talking last night. We're scrimmaging blitzes and protections, and he's sweating because he's like, well, you got all these blitzes, and I'm sweating, well, you got all these protections. And it's like, well, what if you're throwing hot and that's a pain in the neck, or like, why are you full sliding that look? And so, it does take pressure off the offensive line. It allows the quarterback to be decisive and play fast. There's a lot of catch and run opportunities for our guys. and it accentuates the skill sets, I think, of our our receiving crew too. So
I think at some point we'll be done looking back at last year and really start focusing all the time on this year. But if we could go back for a moment, because I was kind of thinking about you last year, and you come in and there's a lot of guys that had been here before in a different system with a different coach and a different, it kind of been really steeped in all of that culture and all of that language. And you guys made some major changes on the roster this year. 3 of those veterans, Geno Smith and DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, all move on or somewhere else. Was it challenging for you last year? Do you have to tailor some of your conversation, some of your style to some of those veterans that had been doing it somewhere, with a very different system for a long time?
I think the challenge is not changing your style and sticking to what you believe in. That's something that I think that was even Pete's advice going into the whole thing, was just understanding who you were and sticking to those principles. And that was consistent advice I got going into the whole thing. And you go in expecting, if you're going to follow a legend like Pete, there's a lot of him here. There kind of still is, and you kind of knew that was something you're going to have to work through. I think if you take the mentality of hey, let's just keep working through it. And sometimes, it gets frustrating if certain things happen. You say, well, I don't really want it to happen this way, And so, but there's moments of frustration. But I think if you kind of zoom out and say, okay, we're going to get there. We got the right guys, the right people in the building. We got the support, and try to stay steadfast on where you're going.
Let me ask you maybe a different way. Does it free you up a little bit now this year to have an even bigger role in that, with some of those veterans no longer part of the leadership conversation, et cetera?
Yeah, I got the same role I had last year. Same amount of autonomy. John's been awesome. I think we're overestimating the how tactful we were and flipping some of those personnel things. I think they're kind of each independent situations that happen to work out that way. And in return, we had opportunities to acquire great players that we really love too. So I think as we do that every year, we're going to keep bringing in the people that we want, and those opportunities are going to keep happening.
You mentioned this John guy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool,
extension, huh?
Love it.
Did you play a role in that? Did we talk numbers, capologists? How did all that?
Stood on the table, pounded my fist.
Yeah. What does that mean for you, though? I mean,
it feels great. It feels great. I think I kind of underestimated the importance of it, frankly, until kind of reflecting over the last couple of days. But you have confidence from the people that are giving you empowering you with these responsibilities, and it shows that we're committed to the process we're in, and and it's hey, okay, let's go, man. This is our squad. We're going to be a tag team for the next few years, and hopefully for a long time after that.
Yeah, Ozzie and John had that in Baltimore. Again, you kind of just, and I hadn't thought of it in the length until Bert really, you kind of hear from somebody else. But, I mean, that's a lot of what Baltimore's had, right, with alignment. They use that word. I hear that word a lot, alignment.
Right.
What's alignment to you organizationally, alignment to this team mean?
Well, I think it's a prerequisite to be good. I mean, you look at any great organization, we've had this here. We've had it here for a long time. Yeah. Baltimore's had it. You think of, the Steelers. I mean, you think of, the teams that are consistently competing for championships have it. And we're fighting. It's something that you have to fight for every day, because there's a lot of people, egos, or things at stake throughout the building, players, staff. But when you have these shared vision about what we're trying to create, and the principles are aligned on how you want to operate. John kind of this is a great example of old school principles, new school method. John, his personality, how he operates is that's unique to him, and he's got an incredible style that people love. I have a little bit different style, but we're about the same things, and the same things are really important to us. And I think people feel that, which is important.
Anybody you want to brag about out here? Any of the players that have kind of gone above and beyond your expectations so far?
I'd love to. Shoot, all of them. I mean, it's a great group. It's a fun group. I mean, guys like Byron Murphy deserve a shout out. He got a belt the other day from Nico in the team meeting, so that was cool. AJ Barner's doing a great job.
Is he showing a little more personality this year? I mean, maybe you guys saw it behind the scenes.
No, we saw it behind the scenes, but he's definitely year two, similar to probably the same line that I'm feeling. You know, I just saw Leo run out there. I mean, Leo is just a beast. You know, and as a leader, really taking on that responsibility, like his style, which is cool. And you saw that last year. He's doing a tremendous job. Spoon. I mean, D-Law is just such an awesome addition to our football team.
He looked pretty good in those one-on-one pass rush drills. I saw him move Abe Lucas in a way that I've not seen anybody move Abe Lucas.
He's a powerful man. He's great. On offense, I mean, just having Coop, just you see why he's so great. It's just all the things matter, the attention to detail, the work ethic. He's in incredible shape. Program-wise, just like he's always, you know, like he's got a lot of opinions about, and he's seen a lot of great things, and he's kind of, he has a great feel for it. Like, if he passes the Cooper Cup test of why we're doing it, it's probably, you know, we're probably on the right track. So he's been awesome.
What should we watch for? You said just pretty big practice. Been a heavy load this week, and obviously I think these Raiders come in, 1 week from right now, next Thursday night or so. What are some things today that we can kind of watch for in this particular practice?
Well, this is the longest practice we have, and we're working some short yardage, so that'll be fun.
Nice.
And so I'm really interested to see how we close practice out. So up to this point, the longest we've gone is 2 hours. We're going 2.5 hours today. So, you know, that last 20-minute push of, I think we had like a team blitz. I think we have a 2-minute right there. And, you know, see the guys, you know, go out with an exclamation point. That would be awesome to see.
See a little Jalen Milroe this year in some of those short yardage situations?
We'll see.
I thought I'd sneak it in at the end of the interview. Like, maybe we get a little something.
They're going to send this to Hauschka, and he's going to be like, good job. He didn't take the bait. Take the bait.
The one guy I did want to ask you about is Derek Hall. I think maybe other than quarterbacks, he's the guy I've asked you about more times in the last year or so than anybody. Just because I see him out here, he's such a monster. And he looks, honestly, even bigger than he did last year, which I didn't think was possible. Can he be the guy, Burt Breer said a bunch of times yesterday, looking for guys to go good to great? Is there another step there still to come for Derek Hall?
I think so. I mean, he played great football for us last year, but he's a great football player, and I think he's really rounded his kind of rush repertoire out, where he has the complements to the power rush game, which is so potent, and then he's an asset for us on the edge. I mean, he's an enforcer out there, and like the NFL run game nowadays is like C gap. You know, you gotta dominate the C gap, and he's the one to do it.
And on the back end, you got to keep an umbrella.
Happy.
Yeah, you got to keep
Tommy's getting mad.
Umbrella on things. So more energy. Last thing, more energy spent on Tommy or Jack?
Tommy likes me right now because I give him the most attention. Because Steph's been kind of busy, but you know, right now the only time I see Jack is like right after practice.
Sure.
So those are precious moments.
Everyone always says, "Oh, you have your kid. You're just going to forget about your dog. Your dog won't mean." It's like, no.
No, I can't. We
I
can't
still
forget
love my
about
dog.
this guy.
What are we talking about? Look at this guy.
He's a good
beautiful.
boy. He's and him and like Steph will send me the pictures and videos like where Jack's like banging on him right now, like, you know, hitting him all the time, and you know Tommy's kissing him, and and so he's been great with Jack, which is really cool. They're gonna be best buds.
How old is this guy, Tommy?
He's 14, 15 months.
Oh, he's young. He's a young guy.
Yeah,
all right. Well, we better get off the air. Turn it over to Bump and Stacy.
Yes.
I got to hang out with Tommy for a couple of minutes. He's kissing.
Dave's
Pearson.
been holding him the whole time.
I know. Pearson's sopping wet from the number of kisses.
So now it's your turn.
All right, we got to get out of here. Don't forget, we are, Brock, just 5 hours from the trade deadline. Bump and Stacy will keep you updated as that goes down, and we'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Until then, the hay
is in the barn.
See everybody.
Get to the chopper!
Fourth down territory, going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
Who will make the biggest plays on offense this year?
I think the bigger plays in the pass game this year are going to be made by MVS. That he is going to be the sniper in this whole deal. Snipers, they aren't seen, but their impacts are big. I'm talking about bombs. Throwing that thing deep over the top. I think MVS will and should be the leader when it comes to that.
Fourth down territory, every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
It is that time of year. I cannot wait for the weather to get warm like it is now on consecutive days. That means I can break the motorcycle out, ride to work, ride all over the place, and I love it more than just about anything. But I also know that it's not a matter of if, but when you get in an accident, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, when you're injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who live it. Law Tigers has been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They are here 24/7, 365 days a year because writers deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource writers can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers is out at all the events and supporting all clubs and shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
History, it had the gold rush. Then came the oil boom, the tech boom, but right now it's the Wi-Fi boom, and Xfinity Wi-Fi is booming. Xfinity has everything you need to tap into the Wi-Fi boom with seriously powerful and seriously reliable connection. It's got 99.99% network reliability and incredibly low lag, so your streams are smoother than making a decision on what to stream. And did I mention that you can even connect to hundreds of devices so you, your kids, your parents, your poker group, and whoever else is at home can all experience the Wi-Fi boom with Xfinity. And the Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed all in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract, all with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply, not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with X5 Complete required for unlimited data, except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
Crawl space and attics are not places you want to spend much time, but many homes in our area can have serious issues behind the hatches. Hi, it's the owner of Crawl Pros, Richard Herron. For years, you've heard us talking about how we go where you don't want to. With our free corner-to-corner inspection to keep your crawl space and attic well insulated and free of mold and water. You've also heard about the pest control division of our company to keep your home bug and critter free. I'm excited to tell you about our newest division, Plumber Pros. Plumber Pros takes the same customer-first approach to plumbing that we do with our crawl space, attic, and pest control work. We've hand-picked skilled plumbers that I know you'll feel comfortable inviting into your home. So next time you run into plumbing issues, from leaky faucets and clogged drains to full home repipes and sub pump installations, call Crawl Pros and we'll get our plumbing division, Plumber Pros, out to get it resolved. For anything related to your crawl space, attic, pest control, or plumbing, call Crawl Pros or visit us at crawlpros.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Lowe's knows hot deals help you get the most out of summer. Get up to 30% off select major appliances and get it delivered as soon as next day. Plus, get up to 30% off select patio furniture, grills, outdoor power equipment, and more. These end-of-season savings won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Valid on eligible in-stock orders in select locations. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/delivery for more details.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS,